All right, man.
Hey,
what's going
what's
on?
up, guys?
We back up in there like swimwear at the opera.
Absolutely, man. At the opera, indeed. Yeah, this one's gonna be a good one. This, I think, everyone knows this is my favorite film. Anyway, it's like the last couple of years, it's like really quietly creeped into my number one spot. So that's all I've been doing this week is watching this film and just lapping it up, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, just been digging in, like reading all kind of shit, like everything I could find about the movie. I'm a little hoarse because you know, I just gotta say it right quick. Who dat? The Saints beat that ass. So we'll get that out the way.
I wish I could say the same, but my team lost today, like
Right.
the UK football side. But yeah, so I'm not so hoarse today.
Well, yeah, I've been screaming at the fucking TV like a fucking idiot.
I'm like that as well, man. Yeah, I'm just as bad, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah. We got the mayor in here, man. Hey, everyone. What's going
What's
on,
up,
man?
man? Yeah.
Gore Gut 77. What's up,
Hey,
my brothers in blood? What's happening, man?
yeah.
Gonna talk about this what many consider Dario Argento's last masterpiece, but I don't know, man. Close. I would say Sleepless might be his last masterpiece.
I would say that as well. I mean, I would put Stendhal as probably his really big one for me. Like, Sleepless is not far behind that.
Right.
But I mean, opera's just a different level. I think even today, it's like on a different level.
Yeah, man. Ultraviolet Hippie.
Hey, what's up, man?
Checking in from Kentucky. Let's do this. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Appreciate everybody in the chat, man. Everybody checking this out. We're here to talk about opera, of course, aka Terror at the Opera. That's the only two titles that I know of. Is there any others that you know of?
That's basically the only two that were done, I think, because obviously Terror at the Opera was for the international release, like the UK,
Right.
and that's cut by say 20 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Which like we can come into a few of those different cuts as we go on with the film. But
Right.
no, I think usually all his films got different, like the Tenebrae like called Darkness and this and that. But this is just opera and Terror at the Opera. That's all I could find out as well.
Okay.
But they're kind of perfect titles anyway. I think.
Yeah,
You
man.
know,
Because I was trying to find like, because usually these films have at least 4 or 5, but I could only find the two. So
there's a really funny story with this whole film. I don't know if you know about it, but Dario, after filming commenced with this, Dario was so upset and thought that he'd done such a like really poor film that he went and took himself over to India for like 6 weeks. He cut himself off from everyone. And it's only when he come back after 6 weeks, he stopped off in LA, and there's a UK British film critic called Alan Jones. And Alan Jones went up to him and started like hugging him and congratulating him, telling him opera was a masterpiece. And it's only then that he had this feeling of dread and like suicide. I know you don't want to say that lightly,
yeah,
with
this
what's
is
going on
like,
today and that.
I did see
It was,
that where he's talking about this is like the darkest time of his life. He's divorced from Daria Nicolodi. His
right.
he's constantly arguing with her and shit over bullshit. His father Salvatore Argento dies during pre-production of this film.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a really dark time. Plus his lead actress Christina Marcelak.
There was a lot of tensions on set.
Yeah, man,
I
like
was going to
they
say,
fucking hate each
yeah.
other and shit. So yeah.
Well, Dario wasn't the only one apparently, because Ian Charlson and her like hated each other as well. There's some not very good stories about her on set, because Alan Jones, the critic I just mentioned, he went up to her the one day on set and asked if she would do an interview, and she
Yeah.
just flat out fucking screamed at him, no. And from what I can gather, although it's not said too much in interviews, basically Dario was pissed off when she wouldn't do no nudity. That was the first thing. The other actors around her wanted to like basically practice the lines, and she wouldn't have none of that as well. And she completely cut herself off from Dario. All they would do was just scream and shout during the filming at each
I
other. And
mean,
Michelle Suave had to come in and like mediate for the two of them, basically.
yeah, I looked up like her filmography. So one thing that was interesting to me is she was in a film called La Gabbia
Yeah, The
or
Trap.
The
Yeah,
Trap, and it's
right.
basically Lucio Fulci was supposed to direct that, but he had uh, hepatitis
That's right.
C,
Yeah,
hepatitis B. I can't remember. What was it? Hep C, right? Yeah,
Hep
Hep
C,
C.
I think.
I'm
Yeah, yeah.
tripping, man.
But
So, but
that film is interesting as well. Go on.
it's like The Devil's Honey, uh,
Yeah, yeah.
in a lot of ways, except there's a little bit something different, but you can see her character type, her body type or whatever.
Right.
She looks a lot like the chick that's in The Devil's Honey if you think about it. Like
That's her sister. Yeah, yeah.
that's her
That is
sister. Okay,
that
shit,
is
no
actually a
shit.
sister, which makes sense.
I was
But
like,
that
damn, they look
film,
so much alike, man.
yeah, man, they're like twins. But that film, like Fulci wrote that film, La Gabbia, and
Yeah,
it stars Tony Mazzante. And there's a little theory going on of why she didn't like Dario Argento. Some people say that Tony Mazzante's probably spoke to her because they fell out. Him and Mazzante fell out on Bird with the Crystal Plumage. They
yeah.
just didn't get on as well. So there's kind of like some people think it's because of that. Maybe Mazzante spoke to her before filming and told her of the problems with Dario. And then she just, on top of that, with the nudity, although she had it in her contract that she had to do nudity. So Dario was like, fucking tripping out.
Plus all the other shit he's dealing with, and
Yeah, yeah.
not to mention him and Daria Nicolodi got arrested for having hashish in their house. Did you know about that?
No, was this during this film? Was it?
It was in '85. That was like
Okay.
they were dealing with the courts and
Phenomena.
shit though.
They were
They had
split
to do
up by
like
then.
2 days in jail or something. But
Shit. Because
yeah,
things started to go wrong for them, I think, during like Suspiria. Because I was reading up on it. basically she like during Suspiria or maybe after filming, she left him and left the kids as well. And again, he like took that really badly. But not badly enough to get other girlfriends, because apparently two of the members of the cast of this, at the time, Antonella Vitali, she plays Marion. She was his girlfriend on set, a real life girlfriend while he was making this film.
Yeah, because
And
I had
then
read that she was his assistant. So I guess she was his assistant in other ways.
assistant girlfriend, yeah. And she was a model at the time, but she plays a model in this film. And she's the girlfriend of the director, Marco, who's
Yeah,
pretty much based himself on Dario Argento. I
yeah,
think everyone knows that.
definitely.
But Coralana Cataldi Tassoni as well, she plays a seamstress in this, like great role.
Hell yeah.
She was his girlfriend as well, which I didn't know back before. And she's
Damn.
in her interview, she speaks so highly of Dario.
Yeah.
But Christina Marshallak, man, she does a commentary track on the new disc,
Yeah.
and she doesn't mention none of that, like falling out with Dario. She does mention a little bit in the interview, but man, apparently it was fucking all hell broke loose when the two of them were in a room together. It's
Yeah.
how this film got made is like,
Let me
you know what I mean?
let me catch the chat right quick.
Yeah.
We got Texas saying, "Hey to the panel of pain." What's going on, man?
What's up, Tex, man?
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, everybody's saying everyone knows that Dracula 3D is Argento's last great film. Well, at least according to Uncle Bill. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the controversy over that. I think
I mean,
he basically said it wasn't that bad, and then everyone said he's champion in the film.
yeah, man. Yeah, I
which is
mean,
kind of funny.
I laugh at it, but
It's
I
the
can't.
one
Yeah,
I can get with that one, right? I can get like entertainment from it.
yeah.
You've got the praying
Phantom of the
mantis
Opera,
scene.
though, I
No,
for whatever reason I can't. Like, I get nothing.
it
Really.
suffers. Phantom of the Opera is probably one of his only films that's just boring.
Yeah,
There's just nothing to it all the way through.
I
And
mean,
apart from Asia Argento, who I think does a good job in it, there's
yeah.
nothing
Some of the
remotely interesting.
cinematography looks good, like in the caves, but I just can't wrap my head around rat sex. I don't know, man. It's just.
I mean, Dario must have been one of his dreams, I think, or when he was smoking the funny fags.
Fucking hashish, right?
Yeah,
Well,
that's what I was going to say, maybe, because that film just. And if you think about it, this is almost like the story of Phantom of the Opera, this film as well. But why go back?
is.
Why go back and do that film? Do that film? I don't
And
see.
that's a good segue into why, like, what I think, man, because I was reading about how Phantom of the Opera, the 1943 version in Technicolor, that is the film that Argento claims that, like, completely inspired him to want to be a director.
Yeah, that was the first horror film he ever saw.
Right. And he was how old? Like, he was fucking young.
That was obviously in the 40s, wasn't it? So
43. So, like, he was taken to the cinema to see it. But anyway, it's the only Universal horror film to get an Oscar. It won an Oscar for I think cinematography, and I think I'm right on that. But anyway,
that's a good gateway, actually, to saying the cinematographer in this film was a guy called Ronnie Taylor.
Yeah.
And he had won an Oscar for doing Gandhi, which Ian Charleston actually was in as well, which kind of there's.
He did Gandhi in 1982. He
right.
did there's a movie that you probably haven't seen. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but Sea of Love. Have you seen that?
Yeah, Al Pacino. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
89. Okay.
Yeah, I do like that film, actually.
Yeah, I figured you would.
He plays a serial killer, doesn't he? I think he plays a killer in it.
No, he don't.
Don't he? Or is he on the? He's tracking a serial killer, I think.
Yeah, it's a thriller. Like, he's not the killer though.
Okay.
He also was a cinematographer. Well, he helped on fucking Star Wars, 1977.
Yeah.
And the Devils, Ken Russell's The Devils, man. Like, what the fuck? Like,
honestly, I mean, Dario got lucky getting this guy because they did a Fiat commercial in Australia,
yeah,
and that's how they got to meet. And then he just lucked out, I think, Argento. Because didn't
And
he?
I don't know if you've seen Barry Lyndon, but he's also the cinematographer for that shit. And
No, the Kubrick film, yeah.
it's
No, I've not seen that one.
it's like a lot of people don't like Barry Lyndon. I'm a big Kubrick freak, but one thing you probably can't deny about Barry Lyndon is the way it looks. You know what I mean? Everything
Right.
is, and that's the same guy that did the camera work on this one. So
Did he do Phantom of the Paradise as well?
yep,
Yeah, yeah,
Phantom of the Paradise, Theater of Blood with Vincent
that's
Price.
right. Yeah, yeah,
Man, he's got like he did Sleepless too. Fucking
yeah. He did.
Sleepless.
He got one
I mean,
regret though.
yeah,
Like from what I can gather, he said the one big regret is that he didn't do Dress to Kill, like the Palm. He said that's the one film he really wanted to do. So
yeah.
this was kind of a good, this is kind of, it's not similar in plot or anything, but it's a thriller. It's kind of a giallo. Well, this one is a
It's
giallo.
definitely
I
a
mean, Dress
giallo.
to Kill. So
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's the one regret he had. But the guy was just phenomenal. Apparently, his eye for detail and
No doubt, man. I
all
mean,
that.
I'm just like looking at his filmography. I was like, holy shit, this guy did all these great fucking movies, man. Like,
Yeah, it's insane that he just happened to hit it off during a commercial. Like,
and this is like Argento's biggest budget too, right?
easily $8 million
Yeah,
dollars
this
at
is
the
his
time,
biggest budget. Like, so he could do whatever pretty much he wanted, and the
and he did.
insane,
Yeah,
the shots of the Ravens, uh, like they had to make all these rigs and shit, and
yeah.
does the Severin release have all like a bunch of background, like behind the scenes footage?
Yeah, so there's
Okay,
45 minutes of behind
okay,
the scenes footage.
same on this one. It has it too,
It's probably the same.
but it's not nothing subtitled like at all. So
Right.
I don't know how it is with yours, but I just watched the shit
Yeah,
anyway.
it's subtitled. That footage is
Okay.
subtitled, but there's so little the only dialogue in it really is like
Yeah, it's so much
Argento.
visual shit that you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
tell what's going on. So, but like that scene though, with all the ravens in the theater in the opera, like
Yeah.
toward the end where it's flying around. George Romero, did you know about this? He said that's the best scene on film, period, in any film.
Right, I didn't know that, but I can't argue.
I
I
was like,
can't
holy
argue with
shit.
that.
George Romero said that shit is the best
Do you
damn
know
scene.
why they did that as well? Because they actually took this big chandelier down.
Right.
And it was so big, this chandelier, right, that they couldn't
Mm-hmm.
get it out of the theater. So actually, when you see all the shots, they had to disguise this chandelier in the corner of the big theater. But that scene where, we're going to come on to it anyway with the crow or, raven, wherever you want to
The
call it.
Ravens, man, the Ravens.
Is going round, circling that fucking theater, man. We're going to come on to that, but man, that is one of the best shots you'll ever see.
Definitely, man.
In a film.
That blew my mind that Romero had said that's the best damn shit ever on film,
And of course, they went on to Two Evil Eyes. I think that was Dario's next film after this.
Yep.
And of course, the Dawn of the Dead as well. So I know they had a big, massive respect for each other.
We got Justin Marino in here. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hello, fellas. Hope all is well. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
doing pretty good. It's been a damn good weekend, dude. I took my son, took Grayson to go see Friday the 13th Part 4.
Okay, yeah.
On Friday the 13th, and then it's been a damn good one, man. Like, and then
Hey, did he enjoy it on the big screen?
Yeah, he got a little bored at one part, but for the most part, he'd seen it before. He'd just never seen it like that. But
That's understandable. Yeah.
But
So that's
he
his
did
first,
good,
is
man.
that his first theater experience?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. He's been in the theater several times. Let's see. We got everybody saying, "Hey, Ultraviolent Hippie says Dracula 3D is the only horror film from Argento that I haven't been able to get through. The CG is bad that it takes me out of it. Yeah, it's pretty rough. I watched it all the way through, but like, I'm a sicko, I guess.
I've seen that a couple of times. And what's so funny about that as well, that Dario Argento actually hated Rutger Hauer. So Dario was really, building up a list of people like he hated for all his films.
I mean, he really hates Christina Marsalak and what's his guy's name from Tenebrae?
Oh, Antonio Franciosca, yeah.
Yeah,
But
Franciosa.
Franciosca was rumored to be trying to get it on with Dario Niccolodi
Ah,
during filming. They were
okay.
getting really really pally together. And
Ah,
Argento kind of clocked this, and he wasn't very happy.
right,
But by the time Suspiria, like we said earlier, had come along, their relationship was gone anyway. So, and everyone thinks the two of them were married, but they were never married.
right. They
Dario
just had
and
kids.
Daria.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're kind of like a couple of hippies, doing the hippie thing.
And you'll never, you'll never see anyone on any interviews I've seen slag her off in any way. Like,
No, I
she
haven't
was,
seen nothing
she was
like that.
such a great, yeah.
Yeah.
The
Let's
guy,
see.
so the UK critic Alan Jones, he did meet Dario Niccolodi basically phoned him 2 weeks before she died, and her last words to him was kind of like an argument. She said, "Why did you always take Dario's side against me?" Because what it was, the big thing was, he said she always wanted that part in Suspiria. She wanted the main part,
Right,
which Dario obviously gave to Jessica Harper. But because this guy Alan Jones didn't back Daria, and he basically said to Daria, "I think Jessica Harper's was better for the role." She kind of took that to her grave, so it's just kind of sad. But yeah, I
let's
thought that
see.
was kind of interesting.
Justin Marino saying Houston in the house. Okay, so I guess you're from Houston. Uh,
That's Texas, yeah. That's all I know.
let's see. Ultraviolet Hippie says, I think that the Stendhal Syndrome might be Argento's last masterpiece, but opera is definitely a masterpiece. I mean, like, I think it's Sleepless, but a lot of people don't like Sleepless.
I think Sleepless is almost. I think it's hard pressed to say it's a masterpiece, and no one loves that film more than me.
Well, it's all subjective, right? So, like, just that train scene, and I like I didn't figure it out at the end.
Right, yeah.
You got Max von Sydow, like his
amazing performance.
great.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great camera work. The kills are fucking inventive, man. I don't know.
That scene on the train is as good as anything he's done. I've always said that. With regards to that comment, though, I completely agree. Stendhal is in my top 5.
It took me 3 times, man, for Stendhal though to resonate. Like, I love it now, but at first I fucking hated that movie.
Honestly, I can pull that on at any time. I just fall in love with Asia Argento's performance as well. I love her in that.
Right,
I really do.
You still need to watch The Heart is Deceitful Above All Things. You see that?
I will, I will get right into it. Yeah, she directed that as well, starred in it.
Let's see. Justin says the Saints spanked the Cowboys. Hell yeah, man! You damn right. I mean, all right. Okay, we're not gonna do that. I'm sorry, man.
No, man, it's fine.
They blew the fucking doors off. They went in their house and beat the fuck out of them. And took their lunch money and shit.
So was it the first football games this weekend? Was it?
No, this is a second game, but anyway, I'm not going to go all into that because I know people aren't here for that. But let's see, Mike Barrett, the Raven Eye is freaking me out. Yeah,
I said that to Dirk, but I kind of got used to it. I kind of like it.
I've kind of adjusted to it.
It's
now.
like some fucking body's watching you as well while you're watching the stream.
Yeah,
so it kind of freaks. Yeah, it kind of freaks you out.
Let's see. He says I'm from Corpus Christi. Okay, cool. Ultraviolet Hippie, Argento films are art, and art is subjective. Yeah, definitely. I think Sleepless is great.
Yeah, definitely. I love all the
Makani Kong. What's going on?
What's up, man?
Barely made it. Yeah, man.
Yeah, we haven't started really talking about opera yet.
We haven't really dug into the film. We just kind of been talking about other things about like everything surrounding the film. I guess people that worked on it, and I guess I can give a synopsis though if you want.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Let's see. All right. Here it goes. All right. Macbeth, possibly the most cursed play known to theater, has again injured its lead performer, Mara Chikova, as Lady Macbeth, or is there a Phantom's master plan? Chikova's backup understudy, Betty, gets her shot, her big break at the role, but there is a price that will be paid in blood as she's bound and forced to witness the brutal murders of the people closest to her. Is my voice fucking going out or what, man? I was screaming fucking so loud today.
It don't sound too bad.
All
It
right.
don't sound too bad to me.
All right.
Um,
I hope that's
but yeah,
justified synopsis there.
yeah, absolutely. I was gonna say with the Christina Marshall act, there's so much to talk about, but her performance, I think, with Dario doing what he did, personally, I think that was just to get a good performance out of her. And boy, man, is she? I think she's superb in the role. I
She
think,
is,
like,
but there's and it makes sense. Like she's because the character like well, we're gonna go through scene to scene.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, people watching this will probably have seen opera anyway,
Yeah, I would
so
hope.
be
So
warned,
yeah,
though.
so like let me do that right quick, man, because just letting everybody know, man, this is we're completely going through the film. So all right. So you've been warned. If you
Yeah,
haven't seen opera.
yeah, absolutely. And you can't talk about this film without giving away spoilers anyway. It's just
Right.
one of those films. Um,
Definitely.
but I was just looking at a comment there. The first 30 minutes of opera is the best work Argento has ever done. It's great. I think the other 90 minutes on top of that, or 80 minutes on top of that, is just as good. Like, I think this film is so strong all the way through. There's no real, like,
I think
boring parts or anything.
visually speaking, it's fucking a masterpiece. Now,
Yeah.
toward the end of the film, there's just a couple things I wish he would have done, but he
Right,
didn't.
which I'm interested to hear what you think of that, because I probably got a completely different angle to that as well. So yeah, the opening. So we see a shot, like, it's completely genius as well. The opening shot. So we see a reflection, in a crow's eye of like an opera house while they're kind of
It's a
rehearsing.
raven, Darren. It's a raven.
Oh, raven, yeah, crow raven. You have to. Yeah, it's gonna. If I do say that, just let it go, because it's gonna. I'm
Yeah,
gonna mix
I
it up
know. I'm just
probably.
saying because like the reason it's like because a raven is like Edgar Allan Poe, heavy,
Right. Yeah.
and I just know that he was like a big fan. But anyway, my bad.
No, that's all right, man. But yeah, so we see that the opera is actually rehearsing, and there's a POV shot of Mara Sokova. I think I'm saying that rightly. Um, so she's basically just going on this strop, saying the crow's ruining her performance, and like she's become this really big diva. Everyone's kind of tiptoeing around her.
Oh man, she's
Um,
such a bitch. Yeah,
and she was gonna be actually be played by Vanessa Redgrave.
right.
She came over to Italy and everything, but she asked Dario for more money. Either when she come off the plane, or when she went to the hotel, because Dario Nickelodeon was going to do it at one point as
Yeah, I
well.
was about to say that Dario Nicolodi asked to do it, and he was like, I think he was just kind of like being a dick, uh, but he said, no, it's just better to like have the audience like kind of envision her in their own mind, I guess. But
I
I
think it
kind of,
works better for the film as the point of view shot, anyway,
yeah,
personally. But it would have been interesting to see Vanessa Redgrave.
but I mean,
But
it's such a small part anyway. Like for Nickelodeon,
yeah.
like how's she gonna like? Why would she want to play that part instead of the one she does play? You know?
I don't think she was too happy playing Myra in this film. The only thing she
No,
really liked was afterwards, I should say, is the death scene, which we'll come on to. But apart from, she didn't want to do anything in this film apparently. So that's new to me when you say she wanted to play the diva.
well, there was
My
talks about it. There was talks about it,
yeah.
but
My understanding was she just flat out refused to like be in this film, and Dario had to basically beg her because she was like a good luck charm. Because everything they did up until this point was like gold.
yeah,
The two of them, yeah,
she co-wrote Suspiria, which she never really got credit for. Uh,
yeah.
but
Um,
it's a shame too, man, because like most people don't give. It's kind of like kind of like the John Carpenter Deborah Hill thing, right? Like in a way,
yeah,
if
yeah.
you think about it.
He didn't want to give her credit, mind, for anything. She
Yeah,
was paranoid after Suspiria because they basically broken up. She was paranoid that Dario was going to take her off the credits, like of the film, which he didn't, gladly.
yeah,
But no, there's a lot of tensions on set through girlfriends and ex-girlfriends and all that. It's insane. But so we see Maria Sokova. She gets knocked down outside the opera house, and it's basically Macbeth. I think Dirk's got a little bit on the curse of Macbeth. So
yeah.
you know,
So like the play, the tragedy of Macbeth. I don't want to bore people out there, but like I wanted to know what the hell where the origin of the curse came from. So
right? Yeah.
for what I found out, it was first performed in 1606. It was written by William Shakespeare. Uh, the people in the world of theater were superstitious because they wouldn't even mention the name of. They wouldn't even say Macbeth in a theater. They called it the Scottish play, is what
Right.
they.
Yeah.
And so they wouldn't mention it because either Shakespeare or the revisers of the play, there was rumors that they put real spells in the actual text of the script.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so so real witches, this is like the story that I found out. So real witches found out about this shit and they cursed the play. And that's the reason that they say. But then like all these freak accidents started happening. Uh, people were dying. Fucking problems with the production. Anytime this play was in production. Uh,
Yeah. Absolutely. Didn't like Orson Welles and Roman Polanski did films on this, and they both turned out terrible. And they were like, so the curse. I feel the curse is kind of real, but I know
yeah.
Dario kind of laughed it off a little bit in later life.
Well, he kind of
But
said too, though he thought it was like during a certain
he did
time.
at the time. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like so, I found out also that this isn't the most cursed play, but it is another Shakespeare play. It's fucking Hamlet. Fucking,
Okay. Yeah.
so anyway,
But
I'm just
Dario was going to put on a version of the play, wasn't he, at one point? And then because he wanted to do some kind of vampirism in
yeah.
there, they basically
Rigol,
shot him down. Yeah,
uh,
Rigoletto. Yeah,
Rigoletto. So yeah,
yeah,
that's kind of like why he made this movie. Did you know that? Like
yeah,
that was
yeah,
the
yeah.
inspiration to make this film was kind of like to rub it in their face and
Right.
to because there is symbolism in the film, like the ravens representing like these high society people in theater, like
Okay.
squawking all the time. Did you know about this? I was tripping
No,
out.
no,
Like
no.
these high society people like squawking and fucking like he was pissed off about it. So it's kind of like an inside joke toward that shit. So
He did go on, I think, in 2013 to direct an opera, and I think he's done a couple since, or at least one more since. The one you can get hold of on DVD as well, I think. So I've never seen it, but it's kind of interesting to watch that. Um, but yeah, so she gets knocked down outside the opera house. Basically, Betty then, she's like played by Christiana Marshall, like we mentioned. She's like the understudy of the opera singer, and
yeah,
any problems, accidents, and all that. She learns all the singing lines and all that to come in and do the job. But someone phones Betty up, like an anonymous kind of phone call, and warns her that she's going to be starring in Macbeth tonight.
Yeah, and
Um,
then as soon as that happens, like the first
yeah.
time I saw this, like you're getting the vibes of Phantom of the Opera right out the gate. Like I
Oh
did.
God, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
No, it's the
exactly
same
like Phantom.
story if you think about it.
Yeah,
It's pretty much the same story,
this
but
is Argento's Phantom of the Opera. Like, well, not technically, but you know what I mean. Like, it's better than
yeah.
his Phantom of the Opera.
I
Like,
don't see, right. So you produce a masterpiece like this, and why would you want to go back? I know he was like fascinated with the opera, and I know,
yeah,
or and obviously Asia Argento's in it.
right.
But I don't know why you would want to go back after you create such a masterpiece. But as we said earlier, Dario didn't think this was a masterpiece at the time, which blows my mind. But so yeah, so the thing is as well, she thinks there's a curse of Macbeth. Betty does. She thinks she's too young for the role as well.
Yeah,
But apparently, the first ever production of this, I think, a 17-year-old singer, was the first to do it. So I don't know, where that's come from. If it's just something in the script, um, but yeah, the whole apartment. We see her apartment what she's living in. Um, it's like got this real, I don't know, this kind of claustrophobic sense to it. We see a bit later on, we're gonna get like a memorable scene with Dario Nicolodi as
yeah. And
well
for
in
the
there.
time, she's got like
Um,
this high tech stereo
yeah, and you see
system.
the tape decks and you think,
Yeah,
shit, that's
CD
what we
player,
used to. Yeah,
remote, and all that shit. Um, yeah, man. It's shit. Anyway, go ahead.
I was gonna say the first kind of little hint we get that something's going on because someone's watching her in one of the air ducts, and at this point we don't know who. We don't
Right.
know if it's the killer. Do you know what I mean, or
Yeah.
what have you? Um, and that's what I said about Dario, like in her apartment. Then Dario Argento films all four corners of her apartment, and then goes on to the air duct, which is just such a great shot, all in one go.
Yeah, the camera work
Um,
in this is phenomenal, man.
it's
Like in the
insane.
framing and the way it's all put together, it's just yeah.
It's completely insane. Like how they come up with something like this, blows my mind. But we'll come on to a lot of it. Um, and then when he does that from the air duct, he completely pans into a shot. So we come straight into the opera house, which is fucking mind blowing, man. To me, I'm watching it, I'm thinking, shit, you know. Um, and he carefully pans around the whole theater as well, like he did with her apartment. It's such a great shot. Um, it's opening night, and everyone's kind of in a panic backstage. You got the stage production manager, I think is her boyfriend, Stefano. He's trying to make things good with all the kind of singers and all backstage, things going wrong. You've got the
What do you
seamstress.
think about that actor, by the way? Like the stage manager.
William McNamara.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I think he does a good job. I would have loved to have seen him be in it a lot longer.
yeah,
I know a lot of people got a bit of an issue with his English dub. They say
right.
it didn't really bother me. I think he would have been good to have kept in it for like an hour or something.
Well, I
I
just don't
honestly,
understand why he couldn't do his own voice. Like that don't make any
it's
sense.
like that. Really, yeah.
Yeah,
Because Marshall actually done her own voice in this as well, and Ian Charleston done his own voice.
right.
But I
Because
don't
I've
know
seen him in
why.
other things, and he don't sound nothing like that. You know what I mean?
That's what I've heard as well. I
Yeah,
haven't seen too much of him, but I
right.
think he does a good job. I think
He's not in
then
it but a blink, right? And that's
right.
one thing. Like, I'm not trying to fast forward or anything, but like
No, no, no.
every character in the movie, in the film, no one loves no one. Like, it's just a
Exactly. Yeah.
full
Yeah.
fucking heartless. The only person that actually loves somebody is the fucking villain, is the killer. Like,
Yeah.
in his
Yeah.
own sick, fucking demented, twisted way, like, but he really does love her. Like the Phantom, I guess, but you know what I mean? Like
I've got my
everybody else.
thoughts on him as well, on the killer later
Yeah.
on. That,
Okay.
but yeah, it's a very cold, it's a very blue looking film as well. It's like Dirk said, no one loves each other. You kind of like Stefano. I really like that character because I thought he kind of got the hots for Christina Marshall, and why wouldn't you? But she's so kind of cold towards him.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want to jump too far along, but she's kind of frigid.
You're kind of like wondering, like, why'd they even get naked if they're gonna not do nothing? You know what I mean?
Right?
Like,
Yeah. And
like,
that shot as well, which we'll come on to, she basically didn't want to do any nudity. So in that shot, she is actually naked, but you don't see nothing.
right.
But it was in her contract that she had to do full frontal nudity, at least the top half anyway.
Yeah.
And she just flatly refused. And that started the big, like, her and Argento, that started her all off. And then after that, she refused to, like, practice lines with Ian Charleston. She hated him as well. But, well, yeah, I'm sure we'll come into that. So when all this panic is going on backstage now, right, we see this POV shot of the killer behind the scenes. I fucking love all the flashback scenes.
Yeah.
Like the music by Bill Wyman.
Yeah.
Oh man, it is incredible.
It's killer, man.
Oh, it's such a great theme.
And
there's two good themes in this.
And Bill, he worked on Phenomena as well, right?
Yes, he did. He did all the stuff. Do you know when Argento's daughter at the beginning, and she's going into the house, and she's trying to get help.
Right.
He does all that. He's like, obviously everyone I know him from the Rolling Stones. Claudio Simonetti does a piece in there. Quite a few pieces in this as well, which is amazing.
Have you seen the videos?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're on that release. I watched the videos on this release. There's
no, they're not on the release.
There's 2 videos on
I've
this
seen them
release.
on YouTube. Okay, yeah.
One they look kind of funny. They're from the 80s, but I dig it, man. I dig it.
It's like is it Demonia, the band he was with?
No, it's Claudio Simonetti.
Oh, okay, on his own.
By himself, like he's like wearing a leather jacket and shit. Well, the other one might be. The other video might be, but
okay, yeah.
But they're like production videos, like you'd see like on fucking Headbangers Ball or some shit or MTV, like back in the day.
It's weird, yeah, because they were kind of only because of Argento, really, with the Goblin stuff. They kind of become rock stars. I know Argento was regarded as a rock star,
Right.
But I was saying then the flashback scene. So, man, you've got this girl being killed while another girl watches on. This is all we get, like little bits of flashbacks here and there. And so we've got to kind of work it out. Incredible. I mean, there's a shot going up or down a spiral staircase, which is incredible. And we don't know, because he does it in such a way that we don't even know if it's in present time. At first, anyway, until you gather, the more it goes on, you can kind of put the pieces of the puzzle
little
together.
Pieces, like that's what is brilliant about this film, because it's not completely explaining everything to you, like
right? Yeah, exactly.
You have to work it out. You have to figure it out.
And this kind of, like I said earlier, this jumps from great scene to great scene. So straight after this now, we got the killer. He goes up in the box watching the opera. You see the black gloves, binoculars.
And this, I'm not trying to cut you off, but like,
no, go for it, man.
So this is a time, I forgot to mention that. So everybody's like really cold. Nobody's having sex, none of that shit. But during this time, AIDS is like very prevalent in the world. Right.
Yeah.
And even the killer has fucking condoms on his fucking black leather gloves. Like,
and that was that must have been that was no accident as well.
No,
Dario knew
definitely
what he was
not.
doing.
And the lead actor, well, not the lead actor, but the Marco, Ian Charleston, he had AIDS.
He had AIDS. I think he found out either during filming or the filming. Because what happened is he had a car accident. Because he had 2 days off doing film, and he was driving out in Italy, and he was driving on the wrong side of the road, because over here, okay, we drive on a different side. And he broke his ribs, he broke his leg. And all throughout the whole film, Dario said he was in agony, but you can't tell when you're watching the film. He hit it really well. But that's another part of the curse as well, which they say.
Oh shit! I didn't know that. I didn't see that nowhere.
He was in agony for the whole shooting. And
I know that the thing Argento knew that he had AIDS, and he just just kept it They just kept it from everybody, pretty much.
That's why he didn't go to, because he could have gone to the hospital and got his ribs and his legs sorted out, but he
Right.
didn't go because he knew the AIDS cost of pretty much like the insurance cost of him having AIDS would have been like there's no way he would have been able to afford it.
Yeah.
And he didn't want the press knowing that he had AIDS at the time. Because he was a
Right.
big star. He was in Chariots of Fire. He was a
Yeah,
big like UK star.
he was in the Legend of Tarzan, the Greystoke Legend of
Okay.
Tarzan
Yeah,
film.
yeah.
Gandhi. He was in Gandhi too.
He was, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, great actor too, man.
He played a priest, I think, in Gandhi. He plays a priest.
Eric is that's Chariots of Fire. He was Eric Liddell, but
that's a great film as well. No
he's
one talks about
Charlie
it.
Andrews in Gandhi. So
Oh, okay, yeah. But so we get the killer. He's up in the box, and he's watching the opera. These lights fall down, and he just gets this guy who's like some kind of, I think he's something to do with the production backstage or something. And the way he just gets his head onto, like, is it a coat hanger? And he just pummels his head onto this coat hanger, man.
yeah, he just he's like slamming his. He like goes in the back of his neck through the back of his head, I guess, But
yeah, it is fucking brutal. And the thing is with that as well. So Dario usually plays the killer in all the films, but the guy, basically the box they did that in was so small that only the Steadicam operator could do it. So he basically had one black hand, black glove, and he was holding the fucking camera with the other hand while he was doing it. I mean, that's a rare scene where Dario doesn't actually play the killer.
Yeah, it doesn't have the
but
gloves.
it's such a great, yeah. Right. Such a great scene as well, as they all are,
Let me catch the chat right quick.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Justin Marino says opera is great. It sucks. Severin messed up the release.
well, there's a few things because I've gone through the whole thing. Me and Dirk's gonna do another video on it.
Yeah.
But Christina Marshallak, she does an audio interview, an audio commentary for that disc, and it was so disappointing.
Yeah.
I mean, she mentions none of the arguments she had with Argento. The guy with her, he does his best, but I mean, he's telling you a lot of shit that most people know anyway. So I was really disappointed by that. She does do an interview where she gives she does talk a little bit about Dario, and she gets a little bit upset as well, which she did in Panicle, the documentary about Dario a year or two back as well. But no, I was looking forward to that commentary so much, and
that is a letdown because I was looking forward to it as well.
Oh, it shits the bed, man, big time.
Texas said, please hit that like and subscribe. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Cheers, Tex, man.
Yeah, and y'all check out his channel too, man.
Absolutely, all the watch-alongs. Yeah.
Yeah, man, they got a good thing going over there, man. And the live watch-alongs, hangouts, man. The chat's alive over there for sure.
I've always said he just does it too late for me. Like I think he does it in 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning UK time, but
right.
I'll definitely catch one at one point. Like
McConaughey, is that McCanny Kong? The first, oh yeah, we read that. My bad. I think that opera is one of, if not Argento's strongest film from a technical standpoint. Yeah, the cinematography along with the sets are incredible. Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, he's got the most money out of any film that he made. So
it reminds me,
literally, like
the whole look of the film reminds me a lot of Deep Red.
It does.
It's just got that feel of Deep Red.
But then you see other things. There's callbacks to other films. Like you'll see a dancer that's wearing a sheet get shot and the blood spray, and that reminds me of Tenebrae too, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit. Like just little things like that,
yeah, you've got the blood spray as well with the boyfriend when he gets, which we're gonna come on to in a minute anyway. But there's a blood splatter there that reminds me of Tenebrae.
See, McCanny Kong says Daria was his best collaborator. Absolutely, man.
Oh, without shadow.
And she claimed that I'm not trying to go on a tangent on the Three Mothers because we will be covering the Three Mothers for around Halloween time.
Yeah.
But she claims that that came from her, was it her grandmother or great grandmother?
I think it was a great grandmother. Yeah.
That story was like
See,
from
when
the
she pretty much a witch or
yeah,
like, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I think Dario took a lot of credit for a lot of her ideas, which caused a lot of trouble between them as well.
yeah.
Dario
Justin,
wasn't one, he didn't want to share the adulation with people, you know.
yeah,
That was just
man.
the way he is.
Justin says, "Rest in peace, Daria."
Absolutely, man.
My favorite performance from her is in Deep Red. I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. She's
We're
like,
gonna do a Dario show at one point,
yeah,
anyway.
we're gonna have to
We have
cover
to, man.
like her everything she did at one point because she don't get enough love. She really don't.
No, she don't.
Ultraviolet hippie. Okay,
Hey,
yeah,
man.
shock. I love her in Shock, man. I really do. I think she's fucking great. But
You know what how I feel about that film? It just hasn't hit with me yet.
yeah,
I've not seen it too many times, but
yeah.
yeah, she's
I think
brilliant
her
in everything.
performance is amazing.
Yeah, she is. She's a standout. I think John Steiner's in that as well. But
I mean, she's
yeah,
got one of
well,
the best. She's got one of the best screams.
oh
There's
god, yeah,
no
Tenebrae.
denying. Like out
Yeah,
of the scream queens, she's got one of the best screams for sure. But
but it's weird how when she didn't collaborate with Dario, his works went down a little bit. You know,
yeah,
wasn't as good. But
went
and
down
then
pretty
you
much a lot. I mean, dramatically. I'd say. I think he got back on track though with that last film he did. Uh,
Dark
Dark
Glasses.
Glasses.
Yeah,
Dark Glasses or Black? It's Dark Glasses. Yeah.
it's both actually because I think
Okay.
it was called different in Italy. I
Okay.
do. I think Sleepless. I do actually like the card player up until the ending. I've said on you a few times. I know Dirk doesn't like the card
I don't
player.
like it because it don't. Um, it cheats you out of the kills. Everything is done
Right.
online, and it pisses me off. Like so, I'd like to see the kills, man. At least. I mean, I
I
don't
don't
have
know.
to
I
see
just
a
like
bunch of gore,
yeah.
but at least come with some creative kills and don't cheap out on my ass.
I
But
I love the soundtrack to that. You know.
but I don't like the end. The end fucking hurts the
The
film so
end is
bad.
really bad.
It makes no
Yeah.
fucking sense, really. Uh, but
But you did Do You Like Hitchcock as well? Just after, which I like a lot. I know Dirk does because
yeah,
we recently covered that.
yeah, I
Um,
don't mind it. It's not like his greatest shit, but I mean, it's not a bad film by no means. Uh,
but I'll say it like Uncle Bill said it as well. I don't think Dracula 3D is as horrible as what people say. It's not great. It's not good by any means, but it is watchable, I would say. Whereas Phantom the Opera we mentioned earlier, it's unwatchable, man. It's
right.
like unless you're an Argento fan. Um, but anyway, so yeah, so after the killer he strikes in the box with this guy, um, kind of the show goes on and no one knows that this murder has happened. So Betty's like kind of singing, it's the opening night. All the like ravens are like pissing her off, they're getting in her way. She
But
looks generally terrified when she's doing those scenes.
she does,
Um,
but like the Ravens, like they react to her voice. You notice how like they kind of take to her,
yeah,
where
yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
the other, is it Sarkova?
Maria Shakova, yeah.
Yeah, they fucking hated her. Obviously, they probably sensed the true bitch, like that she was.
Right. Yeah. And he does a genius thing with those ravens as well at one point.
Right.
Um, but yeah, like you say, we see the little girl Alma, and she's kind of like a really big fan of Becky. She's been like spying on her from the air ducts. That's who we find out who that is.
Right.
And yeah, Maria Shakova is actually watching the opening night on the television at home, and she throws something at the screen, and she's like,
Yeah,
"My
and
God,
that's
this is
back in the day
ridiculous."
when screens didn't break. Like
Yeah. When they would
like
build
shit
like a
would
brick
break
shit
against
out.
the screen. Like
Right. Yeah. Because the killer actually puts a knife down the fucking
you hear him
screen as well.
scratching
It
the
goes
knife on
through.
the glass. Yeah.
That always goes through me, man.
Uh,
But yeah. So Marcos basically says to Betty, about all this stuff that's going on. He mentions the Macbeth The only thing Macbeth will bring you is not bad luck, or the only bad luck it will bring you, I should say, is fame, which is kind of fucking true in a way in this film. I thought that was quite profound when he said that as well. I don't know who come up with that, probably a Dario line or something. But
Or we didn't even mention Franco Ferrini, the guy
yeah, the
that's
writer, yeah.
helping Argento co-write this. I hate backing up, but I just want to go through.
No, man, we got all the time in the world, man.
Okay, but yeah, he did Red Rings of Fear in 1978. So the third part of the Schoolgirls in Peril trilogy for Massimo Dallamano.
Shit, I didn't know he did that.
Yeah, he did. Red Rings of Fear, Once Upon a Time in America, in 1984. Okay. Phenomena. He wrote fucking Phenomena.
Yeah.
Like co-wrote.
I think that was his first film, I think, for Dario.
Okay, and Demons 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Stendhal Syndrome.
Oh man, yeah.
The Church and Two Evil Eyes, which I'm not.
I hate.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that one, but
I don't like either segment.
But still, man, that's not saying like it's probably the way it was made or whatever. Like not to take anything away from his story.
It's just a bland, like the black. He obviously does the Black Cat, but it's just a bland version of it. I know we got Harvey Keitel, but he doesn't do nothing for me in that film.
Not in that, but man, check out Harvey Keitel. I told you recently, Bad Lieutenant.
Yeah.
I think you'll dig that shit. So
yeah. Oh no, there's no doubts. He's a great actor. No doubts.
Yeah, he's not good in that though.
So we first get the look. Then we first see Inspector Santini. So he meets Betty for the first time.
Yeah.
And that's a great scene as well because he basically gives her like a rose or a flower. And then when she finds out he's a police inspector, she's like, well, you're not a fan, you're a police inspector. But he comes out with this great line. He says, can a police inspector be a fan? Which is great. Like, like to come back with that.
Right. Because she's like, you can tell something's off with her though. Like I can. Like,
yeah.
I know people I think critics were complaining about her performance being like, she's very frigid. But I mean, like, after you find out everything that she went through as a kid, it kind of works. And maybe she has autism. Some people were saying, like, you know what I mean? She seems almost like she's autistic in a way,
I honestly believe it's genius part of Dario Argento. I think he created all that to get like a friction between the two of them. Yeah. And she's generally throughout this film, you can tell she's uncomfortable in everything, every scene. And that was all done, I think. I think it was Argento's genius, like got that performance out of her that way. And it is. So I think she's one of the strongest female performers. They did try and get Jennifer Connelly back at one point for this, but she flat out refused. She won't even talk about. There is one clip online of her talking about Phenomena, but she basically won't even talk about it because she had part of her finger bit off by the monkey.
By the monkey, yeah.
So I'm not sure if that's kind of hindered her.
Probably, Argento was probably pretty rough. I could imagine, just like Fulci, and you know what I mean. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's a good thing to come on with Urbano Barberini, right? So he plays Inspector Santilli. Right. The guy, Argento, was basically telling him to be rough with Christina Marshallak. And you can see in some of the scenes, he doesn't hold back. Yeah. And he says in an interview as well on the new release, like, he didn't. He just fucking went for it. She was covered in bruises day in, day out. So you put all this together with her performance and her fallout with Dario and Ian Charleston, and you get kind of this mixing pot of just superb, but like what comes out of it,
right. And I know that she got burned too. She got some like minor burns in that one scene.
That's insane because she on the interview they say to her like, was that for real? And they show it in the behind the scenes. Yeah. All that fucking fire is real.
Yeah.
There's no way that would be done today.
No,
There's no
hell no.
fucking way they would do that
No
today.
way.
She even
No
had
way.
to get the key. She even said the key was as hot as it's supposed to be when she grabs it out the
I
fire.
imagine it's in the
Yeah,
damn
yeah.
fire. You know,
It is insane. Like that. I love that scene in
it's a
which we
great
come on to.
scene, but it's like,
That
damn,
is maybe when you're on about logical, when you're on about Argento, nothing's really logical.
right.
But that scene with the killer and what happens to the killer, it's kind of does piss a lot of people off. If I'm honest.
That's the one that's what I'm on about. Like,
Oh, we'll mention that when we come to it. Yeah.
okay,
But
yeah,
so you got Betty and Stefano, the stage manager. You know, they're kind of in this kind of relationship. We don't really know if it. You know, I don't think it's anything deep. You know, Maria Shakova, she sends Betty this horrible like perfume. But what's interesting about this scene is, right, so the boyfriend Stefano, he gets the perfume and he puts it down the sink, and you can see a great shot of the actual sink looking up, the camera looking up from the sink.
yep.
But what Dario does, I think, in this, he forebodes Stefano's death scene. So Stefano pretends
And
like,
he acts like it's poison or
and
something.
that's basically how he dies in a way. You know, I
choking.
know it's with a knife, yeah,
Yeah,
but
he's choking.
that was done on purpose, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's foreshadowing.
foreboding.
Yeah,
Yeah, foreshadowing. That's the word I should say. Yeah.
yeah, same thing. But
yeah, so I think that's a cool. I've always liked that scene. You've got Julia. She's like the seamstress. She's a bit crazy, isn't she? Like character. I love
dig her, man.
I love her.
I think she's really cool. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh man, she's great in everything she's in. Like, she's in Demons too.
And you notice how she's pissed off at the director?
Yeah.
Marco.
That's the only one she's pissed off with. She's kind of It's
but like that's funny
great...
because like he's acting a lot like Argento, actually. Like I feel like Argento put a lot of his personal life into this fucking movie. Like
I completely agree with that. And we're going to mention the final scene with
not
Phenomena
just it,
that I've got
like
a little...
some of the characters, I don't think not just him, but like I think one of the characters is Dario. That's and it's not the one that Dario's playing.
Right. Okay.
And I think that Asia is one of the characters as well.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's
once we get to it, but yeah.
But she plays a seamstress. Get the name again now. Carolina Cataldi Tassoni's amazing actress.
Yeah.
But so what we do, like before we see the killer in most shots, we get this scene of like a pulsating brain. I know a lot of people don't like this scene at all. I do.
I do too.
I mean, it gives a real kind of you kind of looking what's going on in the mind of a killer. Like
it's kind of like it does one better than Deep Red. Like you know how Deep Red kind of shows you like the mind of the killer, like when you're looking through the
you get the eye, don't you, in Deep Red as well?
Yeah, through the instruments, the killer's instruments and shit.
Yeah,
it does that too, but then it does one better and it shows the fucking brain. You know, like.
But I'm actually going to go as far to say this is better than Deep Red, but people will probably shoot me down for that.
Yeah, I prefer this over Deep Red too. So.
Oh, really? That surprised me. I wasn't expecting that.
No, Opera's up there for me, man, for sure.
But again, we get the flashback scene, don't we? Like, so this time we get like a woman. She's being tied up, and confronted with this knife. It's fucking... I love all these like flashback scenes. And the killer has this kind of murder kit as well, and that's where we see him when he's scraping the TV with the fucking knife.
Yeah, man, you see all his shit just like in Deep Red, right? Like the
yeah, exactly. That's what reminded me of it. Yeah. We got POV shots of the killer behind the scenes then. Because basically he goes in there to try and destroy Betty's dresses and all that, and you've got the ravens in the room at the same time.
And he's adding something to the dress too, right?
Right, yeah, but not by choice. He loses like a bracelet, like a men's bracelet on the dress itself. But this is where it's genius as well, where the Ravens know, they start attacking him, and they kind of, I don't know if this is a real thing, but apparently Ravens don't forget.
No.
I
Yeah.
haven't really looked into that,
Yeah.
but it's still genius.
Yeah.
It's like Four Flies in Grey Velvet with the, with the swinging kind of medallion and Cat o' Nine Tails as well, which is not, it's scientific but not real with the
Yeah.
monochromosomes and all that shit.
Right. Yeah.
But you just got this way of bringing something like completely fucking genius to the plot. I mean, it kind of don't make sense half the time, but
Because the witness of the killer is the Ravens.
right, yeah.
So that's
which comes into play massively,
which
obviously.
kind of calls back to Edgar Allan Poe, like I was saying. Like the Ravens represent death, like in its pure, like the messenger of death is a raven, basically. So it's
Exactly,
it's fucking amazing. Like I just love how he incorporated some Edgar Allan Poe nod in
absolutely. What do you think about that scene? So they're attacking the killer. I was just about to mention the name, but I shouldn't. But there's no way those proper birds wasn't harmed in any way, because all that looks real when he's fucking attacking the birds. Like it don't look mechanical to me.
Well, you don't really see it though. Like it shows him, like
it shows one kind of dying, and it looks real.
I think they probably sedated it. You know what I mean?
It's possible, yeah, it's possible, but
I can't see them actually killing ravens like that.
Back then, though, I wouldn't surprise me because
I would consider a raven like a. I don't know this for a fact or anything. So anybody, if y'all know, let me know. But I would think they're that's a handler, and most handlers love their animals, right? So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That one guy, he's the raven handler.
Yeah.
So I would expect that. Plus, I can imagine that they're not cheap. A raven, you know what I mean?
The funny story about that is they started off with 140 ravens, and they ended up with 60 because all the little nooks and crannies of the theater they were hiding in. What they had to do after filming every night was Michel Suavi got together, the cinematographer maybe, and like a few of the back crew, and they'd have to go round to try and look for all these crows, and they couldn't get to the all of them. Dario says something in an interview on one of the discs. Was quite funny. He says, even today it's like an urban myth, but that theater in Parma, they still think ravens are still in there to this day because they can still hear them.
They're highly intelligent, man.
Yeah. And Dario, like all the crowd were just laughing when he said this. He said, but it's an urban myth, but he does believe that they went on to breed, obviously. So it's naturally that they would be there in some way. Right. But yeah, it's kind of crazy when you think about it. They ended up with 60, man.
Damn. Danny Dundada. We got Danny Dundada in here, man. What's going on?
Hey, man.
Yeah, he's been buying, like, he's just now getting into a lot of this stuff, man. He's been buying some stuff. He messaged me and was asking me some recommendations. So,
okay.
He's digging it, man. He's getting into it. So that's cool.
Good, man. Hope we're putting him on the right path,
Yeah. Ultraviolet Hippie says, I think that Dario was an amazing filmmaker from Four Flies on Grey Velvet through the Stendhal syndrome. His work hit a decline and became more hit or miss with Phantom of the Opera. Yeah, for sure.
I actually think Bird with the Crystal Plumage is one of his best films as well.
I do too. Like, I don't mind. But I've told you before, he made 21 films, right?
Yeah.
I think I only love like 10 of them, so.
That, yeah. I mean, I can see that. I've said before. The ones I kind of don't like, I'm not a big fan of Cat o' Nine Tails, but I don't think anyone is. Dario even doesn't like that film.
Yeah.
But I'm very lenient. Like, I'm lenient towards a lot of his stuff, even the later ones. I kind of like more than most.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, he went through that one period, Deep Red onwards, right up until this film, actually, where he, like, everything he did was just gold, man.
I
That's
think Deep
gold.
Red, like, because the Jolly was kind of fading out, and then Deep Red came out, and like,
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean. So for that to come so late, like it did, many consider it the best, that there is. But
I can't argue with Deep Red when people say it's the best ever Giallo made.
right,
I don't think so personally, but I can't argue with it.
right,
But I do actually prefer Tenebrae and I prefer Phenomena over
yeah,
Deep Red. And I know people will be shocked, but
right.
even Stendhal I'd put over Deep Red, and that probably blow people's minds me saying
I
that.
think Tenebrae is his best Giallo, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Well,
it's not my favorite. His best Giallo for me, but when I
yeah,
went back recently and did it on another channel, on
mhm,
Chrissy's channel,
right.
man, that's such a great film.
Oh yeah,
Um, it's not far behind Opera. It's not far behind at all.
Danny.
I'd have to sit down and do a proper ranking at some point.
Danny Dundada says, "I'm late. Gonna check you guys' show out tomorrow." Yeah, man,
Oh,
no
no
problem.
worries, man.
No
Thanks,
problem.
man, for the
Appreciate
support.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Got Chrissy in here. What's going on? Evening all.
What's up,
Smash that
Chris,
damn
man?
light. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Hell
man.
yeah. Ultraviolet. I love Coralina Cataldi Tassoni as the lead demon in Demons 2. Oh yeah.
I
Hell
do as well. I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
that's by
I love
far.
that scene
I
where
mean,
like the demons come out of the TV. Like I love that shit.
yeah, yeah, like the fucking video dead on that. Um,
Um, he says,
she's
"I'm."
great in everything. She's good in Mother of Tears as well.
Oh yeah. I'm with y'all. I prefer opera over Deep Red. Yeah,
There you go, man. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
sure. Deep Red, my favorite. Argento, Suspiria, then opera.
Again,
Yeah,
I can't argue. I can't
yeah.
argue with that.
Suspiria is my favorite overall. Argento, and I know it's pretty, cliche to say, but after watching everything from him, like I don't know, some Suspiria gives me that. It's just this creep fucking factor that I don't find from any of his other films. Like I
Yeah,
do, but that one really gets me with the score and everything. It fucking
yeah.
is fucking haunting. It's
It
fuck.
was my number one for a
Yeah,
long time. It's not far off, to be
that
honest now.
score really, that Goblin score really fucking helps. So for sure.
It's like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He just caught, like, I don't know what it is. He just
Yeah,
caught fucking something in a bottle,
right.
and it come out of Suspiria. I have got a bit of an issue with the ending. Like the ending of all the Three Mothers films, really don't
Yeah,
don't do it for me, and they're all
definitely.
kind of similar as
It's
well.
almost like he didn't know how to
Um,
finish, but
yeah, yeah,
I
that's
still
the
love it.
only
I still
thing.
think it's a
Yeah.
10. But uh,
Yeah, yeah, I can't argue. Like Suspiria, yeah, yeah.
Ultraviolet says the Bird with the Crystal Plumage is great. It's essential watching, in my opinion. Yeah, definitely.
That was one for me, right? So Bird with Crystal Plumage, I first saw it, I liked it.
Mm,
And then I saw it again. I liked it a little bit more. And then the third time it just clicked. And
yeah,
now it's top 5 or 6 for me. Um I think it's one of the best like
it's funny
first
though.
films of a director ever. Like it's insane.
It's funny though if you listen to Ernesto Gastaldi talk about it, and like he calls it lazy writing and shit. Like like oh somebody fucking remembers later. Bullshit. Like it's funny like listening to him explain it. Like because he thinks like a cop out kind of shit. But
I
that's
love
coming.
the twist in that one though. I yeah, I love the twist in most of his
I'm
films,
saying
but
like the memory element Gastaldi didn't care for. I mean, I like it, but I'm just saying I thought it was funny when I'm listening to Gastaldi bitch about it. Like, but
it's funny watching all these like
yeah,
writers and directors of Italian films. There a lot of them hate on each other, don't they?
they definitely
Um,
don't hold back. That's for
no,
sure.
no, they just say it how it is, big time, yeah. Um, but we're building up to the scene with Betty and Stefano, her boyfriend. So he takes her back to like I think it's his fucking uncle's. This is this big, massive mansion.
Yeah,
It's insane. Like, Oh, by the way, my uncle kind of lets me have this now and again when he wants it.
yeah, he's super
Um,
rich off his ass, and I can
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
much have it anytime I want, kind of deal.
and that's where the frigid kind of
He
thing
thought he was
comes
gonna
in.
get some,
Exactly.
and then
Yeah,
she
yeah,
played like big prick tease, right?
yeah, yeah. So
I
she
don't
becomes
understand that
frigid.
scene. It's kind of weird. Like, why'd she get naked? Like, You know, I don't know.
It is, and then he leaves the room obviously to go and get tea for the two of them,
Yeah,
and the killer like strikes. It's such a great scene though.
it is, and especially on the first watch, like
Oh man,
it's
like
something about that look with that clear latex glove over the fucking black leather glove. Like
yeah.
it's fucking, like I said earlier, it looks like a condom over the black leather gloves. Like, yeah, I don't know.
I love the whole look of the killer as well, with the kind of mask he's got
It's
on with the holes in the eyes.
like a black velvet hood kind of mask,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, and
Mhm.
he's got a really light grey like coat, which I
Trench
just
coat.
works. Yeah,
Yeah.
it works really well. Like for some reason, and there's a great shot of him later when he's diving out the way of bullets, and I love that scene as well.
And
But
that damn knife he's got, it looks like some kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
special ritual knife on it or some shit. Like,
So there's a story about that knife. So not Ronnie Taylor. I think it was one of the other. It was either the Steadicam operator.
right.
He actually, when they went over to Switzerland to do the final scenes, he bought that knife. Or he might have bought it actually early on. I don't know if it's one they use early on. Anyway, he ended up buying that knife during the filming of this, and then Dario kind of like wanted to use it. I think he just uses it in the end scene though in the Alps. So I think the one he uses now is not that same one.
Okay.
But it's great. So yeah, the scene with Stefano, right? So the killer ties her up, and what he does so uniquely is he puts pins under her eyes so she can't, so she has to keep watching. And
And
that was
that's
all down to Dario on it when he was younger. Go on.
okay. Sorry, I wasn't trying to interrupt, but like
No, no.
that is definitely, in my opinion, that's definitely the I didn't think about it the first time I seen opera. I was like, man, that's fucking brilliant, right? But then I started thinking, I was like, man, he got that shit from fucking Clockwork Orange, man.
Yeah.
The
I believe he
Ludovico,
did. Yeah.
yeah. But like I wasn't thinking about it in that same way. But it's like Argento. He said the reason is he's kind of like telling the audience, like he's tired of. He finds it annoying that people are looking away from his films,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
he wants people to just watch the bad parts too, like get the
Exactly.
whole effect of the gory scenes or whatever. But you know, uh,
He
anyway,
started out actually. What he wanted to do originally is he wanted to um, get basically like a sheet, with the needles on this. I don't know what it's on. It's kind of some like adhesive tape or whatever, and he was
yeah,
going to hand them out to the audience, so the audience all had to put these on. But he said he just said it wasn't feasible to do that.
no, fuck no. Like
But it's
you want
such
to
a
talk about
great.
a lawsuit?
Yeah.
Shit. Somebody
There was
accidentally fucking stabbed herself on purpose. Like
right, yeah.
you're
There
like,
was actually a lawsuit in this as well. So there
yeah,
was an actress who was going to play the part of Christina Marshall Axe Betty, but for some reason, like she was contracted to do it, and like Dario didn't want her, but then she took him to court, and then they paid her out in full. So
damn.
that was there was a few actually up for the part, but he wanted
I
to get
still
an
think
actress.
I still think that's insane though. Like with the needles on the eyes. Like even though I
Yeah.
know they're not real, like that shit still gotta be fucking dangerous, right?
It was. She said, yeah. She said basically
Yeah,
she could feel it, you know,
right.
and to do it for couldn't do it for long periods of time. But
Yeah,
the whole look of her is incredible. Like she's on all the covers I know and the
right.
posters. It's so iconic. And
Yeah,
like
man.
even later on when she's in the box, the dress box as well. Um,
Right.
but his death scene is so fucking brutal, man. Where the knife comes up through the chin and out into his mouth. They
Yeah.
had to film that two different ways. They had to film the inside of his mouth. It's obviously not him. They had to do it,
Right.
later on after filming. But
I
no,
don't know
it's
if
such
that's
a
coming
yeah,
across
yeah,
good or
yeah.
not, but
I
yeah,
love that image, man. But it's
yeah.
such a frenzied attack on Stefano. Like, this fucking killer just don't hold back. He's slashing the fuck out of him afterwards.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, where do you go from there? Like, you're thinking to yourself, does it get any better? For me, it does, but
Oh yeah,
such a
for
great
sure.
scene, man. Such a great scene. And you've got the heavy metal song as well. So,
Yeah, it kicks
Dario
in.
wanted, he wanted to, I think it's called Steel Grave, they're called, like an unheard of band he wanted, apparently,
Mhm.
Dario. He was a big rock fan at the time.
Right.
And the soundtrack is superb to this, we mentioned earlier. But it's not just like Simonetti, Bill Wyman. You've got the Steel Grave, the metal band. You've got little other, like Simon Boswell, I think maybe as well. So all together, it's this real fucking mishmash, but it works. Do you know what I mean? It
Oh
fucking
yeah,
works.
definitely does.
Um,
Let me
and
catch the chat right quick.
go on, yeah, go for it, man.
Ultraviolent says, in my opinion, the bird with the crystal plumage is very impressive for a debut film. Oh yeah, for sure.
It's one of the best debut films. I believe
Yeah.
that. And you've got Mario Bava as well,
Yeah,
with
and the thing,
Black
I mean,
Sunday.
what it sparked, you know what I mean? Like everybody was making the animal films after that, like the animal Jolly.
Trilogy, yeah, yeah.
So
Oh god, yeah, Crimes of the Black Cat, Black Belly of Tarantula.
Lizard in a Woman's
Um,
Skin.
yeah,
Yeah.
Fulci done it. Yeah, man.
Gore Guts says that arm in Tenebrae that gets hacked off looks so bad, but it's a killer movie still. I love that shit, man. I love that scene.
I just love it. It's like a painting, it, where
Yeah.
the blood sprays over the wall.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
you can tell it's fake, but it doesn't bother
Right.
me like
Yeah.
dirt. Yeah.
I love that scene, man. Especially like she's sitting there just waiting, like she's waiting for the killer with a fucking gun.
I
Like,
know you fucking know something's gonna happen. You're waiting
yeah,
yourself as the viewer as well, and you're just
right.
waiting and waiting.
I wish I could
Um, and
like that's the thing when you the first watch is the best, right? With shit
oh
like that.
god, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah,
but
yeah.
Ultraviolent says I think that they had sex, but neither one had an orgasm because, as Dario has said about the film, no one can love anyone. Oh, I
That's a
didn't think.
different like, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. That's a different
okay, I
take.
didn't realize. I just thought that they were like going to, and then she was like, "Oh no," being a big old cock tease. I didn't know, but like, but
But you notice though, as well, with her character, she kind of leans towards Marco.
yeah,
I'll be honest with you, right? I didn't really notice that too much in the past.
she kind
In
of does,
watching it.
but then he leans more toward her though.
Yeah, yeah. Because his girlfriend actually makes a comment, and she'll be later on about how Marco's this sadist, but he's got the hots for like Betty,
I don't
Christina
think
Marshall.
she's attracted to him per se though. I think it's more like a comfort thing or some shit. Like
Well, he seems funny enough. You say that. So the scene after now, after the boyfriend's killing,
yeah,
she kind of goes out in the rain, like Dirk said. It's fucking so much like Suspiria.
and it's so
Such a
weird,
great,
right?
great
Like, don't
shot.
you find that odd though? Like how she does it though. Like it's like nothing fucking happened almost.
Yeah, yeah. She does
Because
it
she
after
gets in a
every kill
car
as
with
well. She goes out.
yeah,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
you're like thinking, what the fuck's going on here? Like,
She doesn't even tell him like
right? Yeah,
what's going on.
right.
But
Uh,
that's the scene where Ian Charleston, the whole rain thing was done in like 3 or 4 days. Alan Jones was on set.
yeah,
But the whole scene in the car with Ian Charleston picks her up and takes her back. You've got that Bill Wyman music again on the fucking radio. It's incredible. I know I keep on, but man,
yeah.
I listen to that all the time. But it's a weird because after every kind of killing or every murder, she kind of does her own thing. She goes out in the middle of the streets of fucking
Yeah. It's like just
like
fucking
Italy and
like
yeah,
life is normal kind of deal.
yeah, yeah.
Like I don't
It's
know, man. It kind of throws me off a little. Like, but
I
I know
think it's
she's
just to do
fucked
with
in
the
the head though.
character.
Yeah,
That's what I was going to say. It's the character. It's the
yeah,
way she is, and
right,
I mean it's not logical anyway.
right.
Um,
But
but
like that's why I was saying,
yeah,
like to you, like maybe she's autistic or something. I don't know, man. But let's see. Justin Marino says Deep Red and Tenebrae are my top two. They flip flop depending on the day. I do think the kill with Jane and Tenebrae is epic. It's one of my favorite kills. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Again, no one's right, no one's wrong. That's a good
Yeah,
top
man.
two. That's a good top two, man.
Definitely. Let's see. Ultraviolent says, "Oh, he's talking to saying Tenebrae is amazing. That scene, yeah,
It
for
really
sure.
is, yeah.
He stabs repeatedly in the palms. He's stabbed repeatedly in the palms. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's brutal. It's such a brutal way, man, to
It
go.
is, man. Like,
Um,
and the whole visceral, that whole the way it's framed, because you got her in the
yeah,
back, like tied up, and you can see her, right? And you
yeah.
just see that black velvet hood with the fucking. No, it's fucking great, man. It's fucking great.
The knife coming up through which is
Yeah,
oh man. Um, but like you say, it kind of goes into like dreamlike qualities at times. You know, when she's like afterwards, straight afterwards.
yeah. You don't
Um,
know, like it flip flops back and forth, reality
yeah,
and,
because
and illusion, right?
the whole film you could see at one point you don't know if the whole film is like a dream.
Right.
It's got dreamlike qualities all the
I
way
think the
through.
the music kind of plays on that too, right?
Yeah.
Some of the score is very like almost like a dream, like with the harp
Right.
shit or whatever it is. I'm guessing that's harps. Shit, I don't know. It sounds like some kind of dream
It's like
something.
piano as well, like
There's
the
a piano,
piano part.
but
Yeah.
you know,
Um, Probably is. Yeah. Um, but he's just playing a game with her, and the killer. Like he's just like, I can have you whenever I want you, kind of thing.
yeah. And then
You
he's
know.
telling her she's a bitch in heat. Like
Yeah.
that's why I was like, I guess maybe that's what it was. Maybe she couldn't get off with that dude, you know. But
She does actually tell Marco, doesn't she? She got dreams of this guy with the black hood, like from when she was younger, and this is where you start to like piece together the puzzle.
right,
And she said that's the guy. What? Because when she does actually open up to him, she said that's the guy who I've seen tonight. He takes her back to her apartment, and there's someone watching in the phone box as well. Which is kind of creepy. But they kind of miss him. Um, and yeah, that's the scene as well. You see the scene with Alma, the little girl's mother, and she sees her through the peephole.
right.
And I was going to ask you about this. Is she a prostitute?
I think so. Yeah.
I think
And
so, yeah.
so I was going to ask you about this. Do you think that woman is supposed to be Daria Nickelodeon, and the little girl's
Okay.
Aja Argento?
I've never seen it. I've never looked at it
I'm
like
just
that,
wondering if
but
it's like a commentary because
it's possible.
you know what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying. Like, because I know that him and Daria were at each other's throats during this time. So, uh,
Maybe that's his way of getting back at Dario, calling her a prostitute or something. But the whole thing with the girl, I don't know how old Asia Argento would have been at this time. She would have only been about
I
what?
seen a picture.
She
She's
could have
pretty.
played that girl. She
Yeah,
could have played that
probably
girl
so.
because
Yeah,
she played in Demons too, like a year before this.
and she's in the church. You got to think she's in the church
Exactly. Yeah.
like 2 years after this, right?
So why? Yeah, surprising she didn't play that part.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know.
but I mean, it's a nothing part really. I think Alma is yeah. Just her accent and everything is just so funny. It's like her mother has got this East End London accent from the UK.
Yeah,
And it's fucking weird, man. How I don't know, it's just weird how all these different accents and
yeah,
shit.
right.
And it's none of it's explained either in an Argento film, which
Yeah,
you don't want it explained, I guess. But that accent is just so like this Cockney, like Londoner. It's so weird to me, man. Um,
right.
but I always laugh every time.
Let's see, we got. Oh, Ultraviolence says, I agree with you, Dirt. It's like she's looking for comfort through being around Mark. She's
Yeah,
mourning
yeah.
and filled with anxiety. Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
He seems to be the only one there for her as well, where
Right.
she's crying out for help, really.
Anthony's Horror Moore's in here. He says, "What's up, guys? Opera is so
Hey,
damn great." Yeah, man.
yeah,
What's
it
going on,
really
man?
is. Yeah. What's going
Yeah.
on, Anthony? Yeah, I haven't spoke for a while, man.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's been a while. What's going on? The Wild Guys. Hey, Darren. Hey, Dirk and Darren, great movie. Yeah, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
appreciate everybody in the chat, man. Everybody popping in, and
I hope we're doing it justice. I
I
always say
think
this.
so, man. I think we're going as deep as we can go about the opera.
Yeah, I know
You
he's
know,
a bit worried that we might have got this finished within an hour or something, but we're kind of
no,
halfway through and we're on an hour and a half. But it's
yeah,
good, I
definitely,
think, to go through. To
right,
do a one-off like scene for scene, I think is good.
yeah, yeah. Sorry about that.
I like Justin's comment there as well.
What's that?
You surprised me then. Justin's comment I like there as well because he's torturing her throughout the whole film. That's kind of
Yeah, he is torturing her through, like, killing all the
it's
people
more
close,
mentally, more mentally than physically at that point, you
killing
know?
all the people closest to her, right?
Yeah, yeah. She
Yeah,
gets
man.
the funny phone calls as well. She finds the pins in her coat, so she knows she's not like hallucinating or anything. She knows it's fucking real. This guy's, coming after her. I love the part of Marco's girlfriend that I probably mentioned a bit earlier, Antonella Fatali. She plays this model, which she was a model in real life. She was like a catwalk model in Milan.
Yeah.
And what's so funny about it is she was Dario's girlfriend at the time. So you can imagine all the fucking animosity between her and Dario Niccolodi on
Oh
set,
man, I can
you know?
imagine. She's quite a bit younger too, right?
Yeah. And she's absolutely stunning, I think. Like,
Yeah.
she's got a real unique kind of model look to her as well. As I've seen her in a few things. Dario actually did like a TV series with her after this, and she's in all the episodes. But yeah, you can't blame him there for going there, Dario. Like
Ultraviolent Hippie says, stream's going great so far. I love the way y'all break films down. I appreciate it,
oh,
man.
nice one, man.
Yeah.
That reassures me a little bit.
Yeah, man. We do the best we can.
We do
I
deep
guess.
dive now and again, which is good, like I say,
Right.
But so yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. So she reads the bad reviews out to Marco, which is something that would have happened, to Dario when he was a film critic back in the day, and that was his way of like
And that's
saying,
definitely this character might be the closest to uh Argento, like as far as like him inserting himself into a film, you know?
yeah, because Ian Charlton actually said like he needed inspiration for the character, but he didn't tell Dario this. But he said, I literally seen what Dario was like on set, and I just
Yeah.
became him. And he actually says that, which is kind of cool.
Right.
But the whole reading out the reviews, like, because if you think about it, Dario Argento was is a horror director, and he was going to do like an opera.
Yeah.
So
He was gonna do the
yeah,
Rigoletto, right?
you just can't deny that,
Right.
But this
Yeah,
is when
that
we first
I
go on.
forgot to mention about the Rigoletto opera that he was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
direct. He was gonna he was gonna make it gory. It was gonna be a
yeah.
vampire tale. He was
It
gonna kind of
was, yeah.
twist it up a little bit, and then he was gonna have all the seats in the theater rigged like a William Castle film, like
Oh shit, man.
with
Yeah,
electricity, like a
yeah.
low voltage electric, shocking people and shit. Like, and they were like, "Fuck that!" They were like,
They said no fucking
yeah, they
straight
were like,
away, didn't
they
they?
thought he was out of his fucking
Um,
mind, you know. Like,
they did get back to him and actually asked him to do another opera down the line or something, and Dario just fucking refused. Like he said, if I can't do it my way, then I'm not
they
going to do it.
probably saw
I
the
think.
success of the film of this film and was like, you know,
Yeah. But he did go on, like I say, he did go on to actually do 2 or 3 operas in the 2013 onwards. I mean, they're out there if you want to check
that's
them out.
quite a bit later though, you know.
Yeah. He did it. The one has got like a deep red theme to it as well, which has got one of the kills in deep red actually in the
Could you
opera.
imagine going to a Dario Argento opera though? Like, You know,
I would fucking I would fanboy out, I think.
I'd fucking love that shit, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. But you've got Inspector Santini. Then he begins to ask questions, because he asked the Raven Handler, didn't he? Like the basically the Raven Handler tells him that these ravens never forget,
Right.
and that's an interesting scene as well. And you know what's going to come up. You've got the big kind of sequence with Julia as well, the seamstress.
We got
She finds. Go
Wild
on.
Wrangler here. He says D
Oh,
and
what's up,
D.
man?
He says D&D. How are y'all? What's going on, man?
Pretty good, man. Yeah, and yourself, hopefully.
Uh, and Justin Marino says Peter Neal and Marco equals Dario 100%. Yeah,
I
for
was
sure.
gonna say, who would you prefer? Like, would you? To me, this is one of his best killers. I love Peter Neal as well, but
Yeah,
I'd favor. I'm like, we're gonna say it's Santini, but
yeah,
I Santini because we'll come on to it at the end, right? I think the whole ending in the Alps, he fucking absolutely nails that character. Like the look on his eyes, when he's got the knife and he's with Marco, which we'll come on to.
yeah.
I just don't see anyone playing it like him. And I
No,
know he's young, and I know he's young, and it doesn't quite fit. But man, did he have you fooled though? Because if you work it out, there's only one. The only two people it could be is Marco or him. Logically, if you think about it.
yeah. Or I mean,
Yeah.
like I was kind of thinking, like I also didn't, leave out the possibility it's her because the way she acts, like, uh, like
Right.
the unraveling mind plot shit, you know.
Right.
Uh,
So you mean so it's all in the head, you mean, or
yeah, like just I didn't know, you know what I mean? Like it's an
yeah.
illusion in her
Yeah,
own
yeah.
fucking madness or whatever. But you know, that's like
Yeah,
what
which
I didn't rule it out when I first time I watched it. So like, because
I didn't figure it out.
yeah, no,
I knew he was a prominent actor because of Demons, and I knew his background and that, but it completely, yeah. I was thinking it was Marco, if I'm honest, the
and the
first
reason I
time.
say that is because those scenes where you see the brain and you see all that weird dreamlike visual shit too, So
That's what throws you off, though, because
right,
you look back on it, it's quite obviously him. You can tell now easily, and in
oh yeah,
hindsight, I suppose.
yeah,
But the actual age difference is what threw me. But Dario, like, he had an older actor in mind, but I don't know what happened. It kind of fell through. And they tried to make this Santini guy look older with a beard and glasses and all that. But I mean, it's Dario, innit? You've got to take things with a pinch of salt in his films. I think it works. It's got this weird kind of. I don't know if he was about 12 when it all happened, when he was kind of the reveal, which we'll come on to.
yeah. Maybe
But
maybe she
maybe he
maybe she
was
groomed him.
12, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
she groomed him or something. Yeah.
And there's a great shot as well of her mother, played by Christina Marshallak as well. I
Yeah.
didn't pick up on that first time.
Oh, that's her
Like, yeah, in a wig.
with the
If you,
with the contacts. I knew she was
yeah,
wearing
yeah.
contacts, but I didn't know that was
I
her.
didn't pick up
Yeah.
on that
Yeah.
until like fairly recently in terms of watching the film. And
Yeah.
then going back with the audio commentary and they say it's her.
Oh
And then
shit.
you can see it's fucking her, but
Because I
it's
looked at
well
that while I was
disguised.
editing the intro. She's in the intro, and
Yeah.
I was, I didn't look too far into it though. So
I think it's genius again. He does it in such a way where you can kind of tell, but you can't. Do you know what I mean? With the blondish wig as well.
right.
And yeah, it works for that scene.
In
It
about
really
5
does.
minutes, I got to. I have to make sure my son's asleep, but it won't take
Okay,
me. It won't take me long.
that's okay. So you've got the big set piece then with Julia, haven't you, with the seamstress. She finds this chain, like this bracelet on the dress, and they
Hmm.
work it out that it has to be the guy who's like the killer, who's gone in and
Right.
basically just cut the dress up and had all the ravens attack him and all that. But there's a real long build up in this scene, in there, like, of suspense, because it seems to take forever to actually happen.
Yeah, you're waiting. You're
Yeah.
waiting for
You
it to
know
happen.
something big's
And
gonna happen, but you don't
she's
know
going in
what.
the next room, and
Yeah.
then
Looking
like
for
you,
fucking
you're like,
magnifying glass and
yeah, where's this shit
yeah.
going? Kind of shit. Like,
You
but
got the whole isolation because she's in this big part where they make the dresses. It's huge.
and it's fucking
Um,
great because um, what was her name? Julia in the film.
Julia, yeah,
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 she she actually fights back and knocks his ass out. You
she
know,
does, yeah,
and it's
yeah,
fucking funny that one. That's a little bit of humor there, right? When she's like they're fighting over the damn uh,
yeah.
bracelet.
I didn't pick up on the humor at all, but
I thought it was funny, like when she snatches the bracelet from him or whatever.
oh god, yeah, actually, yeah,
You know what I'm talking
yeah.
about? So just the
I
look
think
on
a
her
lot of
face
people,
just cracks me up. But
a lot of people love her character,
because
and I
she's
do
like
as
just
well.
not scared or nothing. Like it's fucking
No.
crazy. She's just a crazy ass, you
The,
know. Like
the fucking killer throws like an iron at her, and
yeah, it's her in the
it's
back.
just such a badass scene, man. When she like literally swallows his chain as well, so he can't get the chain, and then he
Right.
performs some fucking kind of tracheotomy on her.
Yeah.
Um, it is fucking great. It's one of the best set pieces you'll see, man. Um, it's yeah, obviously he attacks Betty, he puts her up in this dress case,
But
like another iconic look, man.
and she had him, man. Like she could have got out of there, right?
Yeah, she knocks the killer out, didn't she, at one
Right.
point? And then she
Knocks his
does that
ass out, and then
stupid
she's got to
thing.
be all fucking curious and shit. So
And then she finds out who he is just about to mention his name.
and he
And then
yeah
fucking bang. Yeah.
starts
It's great.
strangling
What a
her ass.
scene.
Yeah, it's great though. I love a lot of
I love
Zhao
all the
that kind of shit, right?
the Cat and May stuff before that as well is fucking
Yeah,
superb. So Santini there, or the killer, I should say, tells Betty that after all this, he's obviously got her in the, he lets her go again, I should say, and all that. But she bumps into Santini then, doesn't she, straight after? And she does the thing as well, like straight after this as well, as if nothing's happened, or she's kind of concerned, but she's kind of in like a daydream or a trance or something. It's really weird.
yeah,
But Santini says, you need to lock yourself in your apartment. I've got this Suave, one of the police officers, is going to come and check
yeah.
on you. And
Daniel Suave, right?
yeah,
That's like an inside joke too, you know.
it is because he's obviously played by this assistant
McKelly,
director, Michelle Suave.
yeah,
Yeah,
McKelly Suave.
yeah.
But
Um, and he was great apparently behind the scenes. He'd done
oh
he'd done
man,
a lot of the second unit shots with the Ravens. He did a
yep,
lot of that. Yeah, he's got a really memorable kind of death scene as well, which is interesting. I'll come on to that because they shot that twice. They actually shot that twice. And the first time they shot his kill, there was nothing wrong with it. And the cinematographer, Ronnie Taylor, and everyone was saying, well, why do you want to go back 2 days later and reshoot the scene? But then Argento got this special thing where he does this thing with the camera that goes round and round.
oh yeah,
For no reason. Like they said, if you could not have done that today because the production company would not let you allowed to do that.
was it like on an axle or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's kind of a weird way they did it, but because they had the scene already in the can, and there was nothing wrong with the scene, but he just added that little flourish to it.
I gotta go. I'll be right back, man.
Okay, man.
I gotta
Yeah,
make
yeah.
sure Grayson's asleep.
No worries, man. Any
All right.
comments and stuff for the people, just stick them in the chat. I can see some of the comments as well. So the use of the Ravens in this film is really well done. Ravens are huge, smart, and not to be fucked with. Completely, man. It just does that whole genius thing as well, where these Ravens remember. I was saying to Dirk earlier, I don't know if that's an actual real thing. I highly doubt it with Argento, but man, they just. We come onto the scene at the end as well when you've got the Ravens circling the fucking opera house. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. So, Justin, it's great talking with others who enjoy these movies. Most of my friends don't get it. You're not on your own there, Justin. To be honest, like I think I've got one friend in that I can actually say in my hometown that likes all this stuff. Um, Most of my friends are online. I do quite a lot of collabs and stuff with Chris C, the slasher dude, with Dan as well from Flesh Wound and Visible Voices. But I mean, most of my friends literally are not horror fans at all, so I can completely agree with you there. But yeah, like I say, let us know, some of your thoughts on this film in the chat, or any Argento films in general. I know a few of you have mentioned some before. Have you got any really underrated films that you could mention? Um, for me, I just Stendhal Syndrome does not get the love it should. Sleepless, like Dirk said, is just fucking great. Whatever. Dark Glasses like blew me away as well. Because I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting it to be halfway decent. And considering that film was shot during COVID as well, how the hell it worked out as well as it did, I don't know. The CAD player I like. Do you like Hitchcock? I think is underrated. Of course, you've got like Wild Wrangler just said, Infernal there. I completely agree. Why the fuck doesn't people mention Infernal? Like, it blows my mind. The blues, like, the whole blue, like similar to this film as well. Lighting in Inferno is just incredible.
Sorry about that.
That's
I had to make sure.
No, that's okay. I've just been going through a few of the
I had to get his
comments.
tablet, make sure he's going to sleep. So,
Nice. I've gone through the comments only up until I haven't read out the last two though, so I don't know if you want to do
okay.
that.
The last two. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Betty doesn't understand at the time, but I think that the necklace that the killer waves in Betty's face was her mother's. It's the killer's way of saying he killed her and can kill her just as easy.
Holy shit! I didn't even fucking think of that.
Yeah, it's definitely her mother's for sure.
Right, I didn't even think of that. I thought it was like maybe like a male bracelet or something. But yeah, now you
No,
say
it's
that,
yeah.
it has to be actually thinking about it because it was so old, wasn't it, with the
Right.
inscription on it
The
as well.
shit's
But no,
faded
I
on
didn't.
there.
Man, there you
Um,
go. You learned something, man.
Anthony's horror more. Ravens actually do have great memories and can recognize human faces. Yeah.
There you go. Then, yeah,
No, yeah,
yeah,
man. Inferno
genius,
needs
man.
a 4K now. So underrated for sure, man.
I can't
And
wait till we cover that with the Three Mothers
right,
because that's got so many talking points.
yeah,
I've not
man.
seen Inferno for a while either, but
I
it's
dig it
got
a lot.
the same color palette as this as well, haven't it? Like the blues.
Yeah,
You notice?
yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait till we do Inferno. Just trying to work out now where we're up to. So we've done Julia's death, haven't we? So that's right. I'm with you now. So you've got the whole thing with the Suave character. He enters Betty's apartment. I know the eye drops thing. A lot of people say is a bit far fetched, but do eye drops make you go temporarily blind? I doubt it. I've used them. They
Yeah, I
haven't
was
made me
like
go
wondering
temporarily
about
blind.
that. Maybe if they're like some kind of medicine in them, I don't know. But
Yeah. I mean, you've got to overlook that. But it's kind of great the way that this Suave character kind of plays out because she's basically got the killer in her apartment without knowing it. Myra, Dario Nicolode's character, turns up as well. And then we've got that
that's
scene, which is
that
probably the
scene.
greatest fucking kill in a slasher, in
Well,
a
before
genre
that,
film, slasher
but even
film.
before that scene, when the power goes out and then you start seeing like
Yeah.
the different colors, that definitely reminds me of a drop of water from Black Sabbath.
It's
Like,
completely Bava like. Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot like Baba,
It's
and
the filter, like the filters that he
yeah,
completely stole
when
off
they lock
Bava.
themselves in that room, and
Yeah.
then Nickelodeon grabs the kitchen
The
knife.
night. Yeah.
And I love that shit, man. Like the fear. Nickelodeon sells it just as much as she does. It's a shame she's not in the film more, but you know.
I mean, I said she didn't want to be in the film at all, but she does.
Right.
She did, after the film was made, recognize how her death scene becomes so fucking iconic to the genre. I honestly believe it's probably the best kill you'll ever see in a film, of any slasher film, giallo film. I can't
Yeah.
think of any other one I like more. And there's the whole bit. I suppose people probably know that Dario thought that Argento was trying to kill her.
Yeah. Well, that's what she thought, but I mean, you know.
You think about it though, you couldn't do that shot today because you couldn't have fucking dynamite on someone's, because she literally had
It's
dynamite
a
on her head.
squib, though. It's like, you know.
It was apparently dangerous. Ronnie Taylor had to cut half the dynamite intake to like reassure her. And the way the scene is set up, because you got Betty trying to grab the phone earlier on in the scene.
Yeah.
You know, she's trying to
She's pulling the
and
cord.
then
Yeah.
fucking, she looks through that peephole, and then you get,
And she's bitching at him, like she's wanting to see his ID and shit.
And I mean, technically, if you wanted to like find fault in the scene, you could actually say that Santini doesn't have a beard in the scene at all.
Yeah.
So it kind of throws you off a little bit. But man, the way that bullet comes through, the way it's done, they show the way it's done with this giant kind of.
I've seen it's on this release as well. It's like in the behind the scenes kind of deal.
Yeah, that's what I've seen. Yeah,
that was cool, man. That's cool how they did that.
But she said, like, in doing that, there was no mattress behind her, because what you see it on the shot from behind. She had to literally just fall back. She didn't, she was up all night. She was worrying about it. She couldn't sleep. She thought Dario had it in for her as well.
Yeah,
she was kind of a little bit paranoid.
He was probably just like, you deserve it.
Yeah.
Shit.
But the way it hits, the fucking bullet hits the telephone at the end.
Yeah.
So, which is logical, but as well, because she can't phone for help then either. Like, so he does two things in one in that one scene, and it's just...
There's no damn way that would happen, though.
Like, no.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not logical.
No, nothing is fucking logical in an Argento film. But
yeah.
Boy, like, it's one of the stylish kills.
It's great, though. There's no denying it. Like,
it has to be in most people's top, like, fucking 10.
It's got to be in,
kills of all time.
Argento scenes, for sure.
Oh, God, absolutely, yeah. Like you say, the whole look, the filter, the camera filters. You've got in that scene as well, you've got the use of like the Macbeth opera music, and that comes into play quite a bit as well on the stereo and all that. And
Ultraviolet Hippie says, I love Inferno. It's one of my top 5 favorites from Argento. Hell yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's not top 5 for me, but it's not far away. It's definitely top 10.
The mayor says, I do believe that Severin used the same transfer as the play-on 4K of Opera, so I wonder if there's a problem with the play-on. Like, I watched both cuts, and it looks good to me. Like, they look good. I did notice, like, when I was doing the intro, it looked different on this 4K player that I, like, how I do the intros and shit.
Yeah.
It looked a lot different than it did, like, on the PS5, I guess you say. That's kind of how I watch them. But
right, that's interesting, because I've got the new release, so
yeah.
It doesn't look as fucking good as like something like Suspiria on 4K.
Yeah, the Synapse Suspiria is insane.
Yeah. And even some of the other, like the Blu-ray release of Inferno, maybe slightly. I don't know if it's my eyes or something, but something is off with that.
Well, I noticed the difference between this player and the player in the living room is way different. So.
Right, yeah. I mean, to the naked eye, and I'm not technically minded or anything, it's perfectly fine. Yeah. But you can tell there's something not quite right with the colors in it, which I guess is the problem anyway.
It looks great. Like I said, it looks great in the living room. And here, it does look a little muted. Like, I don't know. So.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. But we are going to give a full review.
There's a lot of variables too, though. There's TVs involved, players involved, So
I mean, it should look good on a 4K TV, though. Like, as long as you've got like a decent player. like a Sony or a
Yeah,
LG, or do you know
right.
what I mean? But yeah, I don't know what the issue is, but they're gonna sort that out. Um,
Ultraviolet says the shots from Betty's perspective where she's tied up. Um,
okay, yeah, yeah,
yeah. Um, the shots from Betty's perspective while she's tied up and you see her eyes closing with needles against them are amazing. Yeah, and the
it
blood and
really
everything.
is. Yeah, yeah.
And
You get like the little specks of blood on her eyelashes, and
it's great. Up all
um,
night with Dirk and Darren. Yeah, yeah, man.
yeah, man, we are kind of we're
Um,
close to 2 hours, and we're still not in. Well, we're
yeah,
mainly into it, but we got a good finale to come.
yeah. We got a good chat going. It's cool.
As long as you
Ultraviolet.
guys are enjoying it, that's the main thing.
Yeah, man. That's that. I mean, I would hope somebody just just be honest. Let us know. Give us some
Yeah,
feedback.
yeah. I mean, this
We
this
could
is
we
not
could
going to be
always
like.
change some shit up. But
Yeah, yeah. I was going to say this is not going to be like Eyes Wide Shut, where there's so many things you can talk about. With this, it's just
yeah,
straight up what you see is what you get type thing.
there are some things that are ambiguous. So
There is
yeah,
coming up as well towards the
right.
end, which we're gonna have different views on, which is good. Yeah,
Ultraviolet says Daria's death scene is amazing. In my opinion, it's one of the most stylish death scenes in an Argento. Yeah, for sure.
like yeah. So for me, it's the best, but I can understand, if people do prefer some of the ones in Tenebrae and Deep Red, maybe.
Uh, Justin says, "Did you like Lee McCloskey's performance in Inferno? Refresh
That's
my
the
memory." Uh,
that's the guy. That's like the brother. He
oh
plays the
yeah,
brother.
yeah. He don't bother me.
He he's kind of weak, I think, if
He
I'm
don't
honest.
bother me. I mean, I'm not really there for him, but
He's okay, but he's
he's
not.
not
Yeah, he
really
is
in it that
kind of.
much, right? If I remember right.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Um, and
he is
Justin
kind of one
says,
of the worst parts of it, I
"Great
think.
stream so far, man. Well, I appreciate it.
No, thank you, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So we mentioned the way like Betty accidentally stabs Suave, um, and like I mentioned the fact that he redid that scene. Um, you got a great shot of the killer diving out the way of Betty, like when she's got the gun
she
and she
didn't
starts
stab him though,
firing.
right?
Huh?
She didn't
Did I
stab him,
say
right?
she
Uh,
stabbed Suave? Yeah, Suave.
no, I thought from the way I see it, like that he was already
Okay, no.
stabbed. Like he was already stabbed, and with a different knife. She still got the other knife in her hand, right?
She got the knife, but the way I saw it is he came to maybe he was already stabbed then, I don't know, but he does fall. I thought he falls onto a knife anyway.
No,
I'll have to.
she's got a knife in her hand, and like I think the killer went ahead and killed him. Like,
Okay, yeah, that's yeah, maybe, yeah.
I mean,
I
you know,
didn't see it like that, but yeah, it could well
I
be.
mean, I
Yeah.
could be wrong too. Like, I'm that's what I'm saying.
No, it's
Like,
yeah,
not
that's the beauty. That's the beauty of
yeah,
having these chats, man. Yeah, like,
right.
you could well be right actually thinking about it.
Yeah, because I
Um,
remember seeing her with the knife in her hand. You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll have to go back and see that. It's not like I haven't seen this film many times,
yeah.
I've watched it 5 times this week for different
I
commentaries and
watched
shit.
it 3 times this week. So,
Yeah, yeah. But it's weird how little details do
right.
sometimes,
Yeah, some things slip by. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. The whole kind of way she gets out of this situation is through the air ducts. So Alma kind of comes down and kind of saves her. She's kind of like a guardian angel, isn't she? This little girl,
yeah.
and she takes her up through the air vents. And
And I
but I
swear to
think there's a
God, like
bond.
I
Go
touched
on.
on it a second ago, but I feel like that's supposed to be little Aja, and then her mother is Daria.
That would make sense. Yeah, yeah.
like I don't know,
That
some
kind
sick
of makes
twisted
sense.
ass shit Dario did. Like but
The way I see it as well is they kind of bond over the fact that like they both got childhood traumas. Her
yeah,
mother's like a prostitute. Betty's
right.
got all this shit going on with her mother. When she was younger, which she sees. So it's kind of a little bond between the two as well. But I'm up for like the whole Lee Argento, Dario Nicoloda's things. That's the beauty of these films, isn't it? Everyone's can bring different to the conversation.
And
Um,
Alcia was closer to Dario too, right? Like that's the impression I always got. But
Well, yeah, like people say about when she did Trauma as well, being topless and all those scenes in Stendhal, and maybe they were a little bit too close at times, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think she probably she fell out with Argento actually. Asia fell out with him for a couple of years after one of the films, and they kind of got back together. But like, she was really close to her mother. I know that, and her sister who passed away through anorexia as well.
Right.
But there's a great scene with the Alma's mother, and she's like basically just tells Betty to go from the apartment, just get out of here. And then this girl, Alma, she comes out with this fucking lie every time. I don't know if it's meant to be funny because we're talking about the humor in this. There's not much.
Yeah.
But like she says, "Oh, you're disgusting. You're always naked."
Yeah,
Like
you're naked all the
every
time.
fucking
Yeah.
time I hear that, I crack
Yeah.
up, man.
Because she's
It's
a
the way
whore.
she says it. Yeah. Because it is mentioned later on in the plot. Because it's a weird scene where this mother takes her daughter to the opera at the end. It don't fucking kind of make sense, but yeah, and I think they say that the mother and her father, like this little girl Alma's father, keep arguing or something along those lines. But yeah, this is kind of a weird character for me with the whole fucking English accent. But so you've got Betty kind of every time something happens, she just goes out onto the streets of fucking Italy, and you got the heavy metal music plays. And she finds herself being followed to the opera house by the killer. But that's where she like her and Marco kind of bond then, don't they? You know? There's a great scene with her talking to Marco, and it's almost like a fucking painting. In the background, you see the fucking opera house.
Oh yeah.
It's an amazing shot as well. This film is full of them. But yeah, they kind of that's where you think, is there something romantically between them? That's for me anyway. That's what the scene
It's
I
more
thought.
Marco, I feel like.
Yeah. He kind of infatuated in a way like Hitchcock or someone would be, yeah, with a leading lady or something,
Right.
Apple, it's slippery. No, don't worry, Franz.
Yeah.
That's fucking great. That's great. But what's genius about that scene, right? So she's in I think she goes into her dressing room in the opera house. But did you notice on the wall, there's like bird chimes? Did you notice the bird chime, like wind chimes on the wall?
No.
And like Dario focuses in on them. That's foreboding as well to the ravens at the end, fucking flying around
I
the
didn't
opera
notice
house.
the
Oh
bird
God,
chime.
go back and give that a watch. Like you'll pick up on that. It's definitely foreboding. But this is where you kind of she goes like into like a dream and a flashback when she's in her dressing room. And we see her as this little girl, and she sees her mother.
I'm
That's where you
still
see.
blown away that that's her.
Yeah, I was going to say that's where you see her playing her mother. It's fucking
That's fucking
amazing.
my head up because it don't look like her, but I could tell that the actress, whoever it is wearing contacts. You can definitely
Troy
tell.
Howarth, I give credit to that, and Nathaniel
Okay.
Thompson, like they say in the commentary.
Because she looks nothing like, and that face.
But if you go back and watch it though, at first you don't, because I didn't think this the first time.
Right.
But if you go back and watch it, it's unmistakably her with
I mean,
contacts.
I believe you. It's just, it's blowing my mind. Like
it's a great shot, man.
Because I looked at that,
it
like
really
I've seen that shit a lot because I was putting it in the intro, like that weird
Yeah,
face
yeah.
making and shit, and I was like, damn,
It's
crazy.
fucking genius that she did that to play the two parts. I think.
Right.
So because we do see a glimpse of her early on, but it's not full on like we do in this scene.
Right.
But yeah, go on, sorry, Dirk.
No, you're good, man. I did want to catch a chat right quick. Let's see. Justin Marino says, I like the vent scene. It's one of my favorites from opera. Yeah, definitely.
It is. It really, it's kind of the way it's shot as well. They shot that actually with a skateboard.
There's a lot of
following them on a
camera tricks being used.
Yeah,
in this film, man. Like almost every fucking frame. It's like, you know what I mean? It's insane.
The
Really is.
guy with the Steadicam, he did a lot of work, and apparently he was a trooper because those Steadicams in those days are really heavy.
Oh yeah.
And he was doing all the shots, and his stamina wise was incredible.
Ultraviolent says, I think that the killer stabbed the cop.
You're right then to it, yeah.
I think it happened before the shot where Betty's hiding behind a curtain and sees the killer run across from afar. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right then, obviously, with that.
Yeah, because she still had a knife in her hand. That's why, or maybe the gun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember now. But yeah, cool.
I think it's a knife, but yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, this is kind of where she's dreaming. She's thinking, is this reality or is it all in a dream? All the flashbacks with the mother, but then the kind of it's not the final scene. Some people say there's 2 or 3 different endings to this, which is right, really, but we kind of get the whole reveal of the killer with the crows in the opera house, man.
Yeah, the witnesses are the ravens.
Fuck me, man.
Yeah. The witnesses are the ravens.
Yeah.
I guess it's the head of the opera house. He's pissed off when the director does that. Like that scene where she's real sweaty and she's like, "When are you gonna do it? Like, when's it coming?" Kind of deal. And
because he says, didn't he? The director actually, I jumped the scene. The scene before, he turns around and he says, "I think we got a way of fucking catching this killer. We can do this." And then it goes on to that scene. But yeah, she's all uptight. And then she's on like the stairs singing with the soprano, isn't she? And then they let loose with the birds, man.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. Like that whole scene, man, is I mean, it's fucking brilliant. It's my favorite scene of the film. It really is.
It's hard for me because I do love the Dario Nicolodi kill.
I just love that's a great scene. That's a great scene through the peephole. I love that scene, but that's probably my second favorite of the film. But this scene with the ravens, like
circling the fucking opera house, man,
going over the crowd and all the people freaking out and shit.
Yeah.
And then and then just the fucking hitting the killer and everything. It's like their revenge, right? So that's a callback to fucking Phenomena. The insects, right?
Exactly, yeah. And maybe Hitchcock's The Birds maybe was some kind of influence.
Oh, definitely.
Probably was with Dario. But that scene, man, I know I'm going to keep on about it. Just circling the fucking opera house. It doesn't get better, man. It just doesn't get better than that. And you've got the whole, because I like the metal soundtrack in that part as well, where you've got There Is No Escape, the song playing by Steel Grave. Fuck me, man. It just works on every level. Every level.
But the scene to come where the killer, it's Santini now, right?
Yeah.
He basically gets a hold of her, takes her to a room, and ties her up and like blindfolds her because he don't want her to see his monster-like appearance, just like fucking Phantom of the Opera, right?
Phantom of the Opera, yeah.
And he's telling her to shoot him and shit or whatever. And then, but this is what pisses me off about the movie.
I think I know what you're gonna say. Yeah, I think I know.
Like, so he sets a fire with kerosene and shit, and she gets saved from Marco, kind of deal. And then they think that he burned alive in this shit. What was it, like a week or 2 weeks?
A couple of weeks, I think.
2 weeks. And they didn't figure it out in 2 weeks that it's a fucking mannequin,
But it doesn't make sense in the fact that the key is still in his pocket. Wouldn't he have fucking needed that key to get out of there? So he would have taken the key when he goes out.
I thought he left it too, though.
But the room was locked. So how could he relock the fucking room? It don't make sense. Anyway.
The mannequin shit don't make sense to me, though.
No, none of it makes sense.
2 fucking weeks, you're not going to figure out that that's a fucking mannequin? Like, not a dead body,
I think we touched upon it earlier. That's real fucking fire. That's it. She was being like fucking like almost burned.
She got burned. She got like low degree burns from that scene. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can tell all this was fucking into her performance. Like,
But see, one simple thing though is it would have been so simple. Why not him kill somebody and throw him in
use
the
the
fire?
body. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
instead of a fucking mannequin. Like, what is the point of that?
I mean, all bets are fucking off at this point anyway, so I don't really
I'm just
take
saying,
too much into
it's
that.
so
you know?
frustrating to me that it's so fucking simple. Like,
Oh, see, shit like that don't bother me, man. It does.
Yeah.
It probably does in other films.
I'm
But
just
we
saying,
gotta
like,
mention.
you get what I mean, though, right? That
Yeah.
something like that, so simple, like that, it would change.
That annoys so many people as well. Because
Yeah.
Troy, I think Nathaniel Thompson was saying, like,
Right.
they don't give two hoots, like, but we got to mention the scene before that as well with the crows actually fucking eating his eyeball, and then this fucking raven pukes up the eyeball as well in the same shot. It's just fucking great.
Yeah,
That's
man.
like a happy accident.
Right.
But
And
he
was
kind
that
of confesses as well.
Do you know if that was a real, like, was that like a fisheye or something? Fish eye?
It was so basically they went to a slaughterhouse and got like a pig's. They got like a set of pig's eyes, but they had to get the blue ones because obviously Santini's eyes are blue.
Yeah.
But with that shot as well, it's like with the fire, as you mentioned, it's almost like Hitchcocky in the way, like the suspense. But he does actually confess to her before as well that he fucking killed her mother.
And that scene reminds me of something like from a very old film. You know what I mean? Like,
the
woman in the chair tied up with blindfold.
Yeah. Like there was some of the old fucking Dark House, or 20s or 30s films. But he confesses to strangling the mother. He completely fucking lost it. Like, you're starting to get the pieces of the puzzle together now. He's obviously linked to the mother. He's obviously got some fascination with Betty. Because if you work back to the earlier scenes, there's, he says things to her as well, which kind of makes sense later on. But yeah, I don't know how you feel about the whole kind of 2 or 3 different endings. Personally, for me, I love all the stuff in the Alps.
Yeah. I don't
what
mind
about
it.
you? Do you like it or?
I don't mind it, but like Marco's, like, it's like, is that like Argento's way of saying, like, fucking kill me, and then I look at like Betty like she's Aja or Asia, right?
Right.
I don't know,
So
maybe I'm crazy, but maybe it's like let her live kind of deal, like,
so I was watching
sacrifice himself for his daughter.
Yeah, I can be. Yeah. I was watching the extras and I've always kind of felt this as well. So there's a scene, right? So the first shot when they're in the Alps, right? And they're obviously a couple by this point. But Marco is actually filming these insects. And my theory is, and someone else says it, so I'm not going to take credit for it totally.
Right.
But Marco is actually Dario Argento, and he's filming shots ready to do Phenomena. So Marco would have gone on to make Phenomena, which completely makes sense if you think about it.
And then she is like almost like Jennifer Connelly's character in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Playing with the fucking lizard and shit.
Right. Which is I think is personally, it divides people, but I think it's great.
Yeah.
You've got
I kind of can look at something like 3-4 different fucking ways, It don't matter. Like, you know what I mean?
You've got the whole Sound of Music ending, they call it as well. But,
and she embraces nature. Like, she just at the end,
I love it. I fucking love it. I love the music. I love the whole thing. But
that's the only gripe I have is what I said already, though, is about the dead body thing. Like that.
Yeah.
It could be a perfect film. There are a couple plot holes, like
there's fucking loads of plot holes.
Right.
Robert.
But
the thing is, though, so Marco, when they're up in the Swiss Alps, right? So the housekeeper gets killed. And then it comes up as a news flash on the screen, which Dirk says he's got a problem with, and I can't argue with that. So basically, the killer has followed them to the Swiss Alps, because we see the dogs, we see the helicopter going over, which is a great shot as well. And then you've got the whole kind of chase around the Alps. I love.
And he's like he's screaming at her to run and shit.
Yeah. Get out
like-
here, run, like. And then he kind of rugby tackles the fucking Santini, doesn't he?
Yeah.
The look of the killer, I think, Urbano Barberini doesn't get the credit he deserves for being the killer in this film, because
he
the
does
way he kills Marco with the knife and that look he's got in his fucking eye,
Yeah.
like, it is incredible performance.
It's pretty
I
damn
think.
good.
Yeah. But it's such a
But
brutal
I
way,
think
right?
I think that's another thing that does annoy me, that he just gets arrested.
I was going to say to you, right? So this is my take. So he's actually the way they take him down is fucking brutal, man. They're punching him, and he's a killer and he deserves that, rightly so. But my way I see it is, does he deserve that? Because he comes out with the line, I didn't kill them, I was just taking their souls or freeing their souls. I actually got a lot of sympathy for that character.
Yeah,
when he says
he's
that.
really the only character that actually loves somebody, and he's also been fucking had his fucking head fucked up over love, right? Because
this is why I got sympathy, yeah. And if you look back at his whole backstory, he was manipulated to kill women for the pleasure of her mother.
Some S&M, but to the extreme.
Which he didn't want to do,
Right.
And he's fucked up. Like, he's got so much trauma going on in his past that, I do actually lean towards the side of him being like a fucking victim, man. I really do. And you've got the whole music. And when she tells him as well, she says, I'm just like my mother, just so he can
she
be okay with him.
His ass. Yeah.
And then she hits him with the stone. I mean, the way they take him down as well. But the whole nature thing with the phenomena at the end,
right?
That was, so she comes into this kind of monologue. She speaks herself about how she's at one with nature and she wouldn't hurt a lizard. She feeds a lizard and all that. So in the Italian version,
do you think that she's saying that because like the ravens helped her? Do you think? Or
I don't know. I just think she's become, the whole experience is just, she's just trying to find some positive over it. I was going to say,
she's fucked up too, right?
She's fucked up too, yeah.
Because if you notice when Marco gets stabbed the fuck up, she's still normal. Like, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird, man.
Do you know what? Like, in the Italian version, the whole monologue at the end is done. Dario Argento actually talks the narrative over, which we don't get in this version, in the director's cut. Right. For me, because he did that in Suspiria as well. So, but for me, I think it works better with the way it is, the director's cut with her.
I like
it's so off the wall.
The international version, or the because that's what I got on this release. This is the international and the Italian.
Yeah, same on this one.
Which is, I'm pretty sure it's the fucking same. 5 fucking disc set, right?
I was looking at some of the extras you got on those discs.
Yeah,
and I don't think they're exactly the same, but they have the same kind of people behind the scenes and the cinematographer or the Steadicam guy and all them.
Yeah.
I have got the old release of this in the UK version. Oh shit! This was I
had that version and I sold it.
This is like number 43. I remember getting one of the first to get this.
I had that and sold it. Is that the Blu-ray?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I sold mine when I bought this and I knew I was buying the Severin too. So, but
we are gonna do a separate video on different versions. But
yeah, we're gonna cover those.
I
should have kept that one, but I'm glad you got it. So
yeah, man, I fucking don't. I've actually got the Terror of the Opera UK release as well, which has just got the 96-minute version on. I couldn't dig it out. It's there somewhere. So this release year now, the new one. Yeah. Apart from my issue with that commentary track, this is fucking outstanding. This is like, I've not seen the one Dirk got, but this is by far, I think, it's hard to beat this definitive version.
Right.
It's just jam packed, man.
I'm imagining that, like, because I had such a tough time with the subtitle tracks. Like, I don't know what was going on. I'm gonna try it on a different player.
I was gonna say it's probably your player. It's probably the player.
Well, the thing is, at first they were there, and then they were not there, and
Okay.
because I turned it off. I turned subtitles off, and then I tried to turn them back on. They wouldn't come back on. It was fucking weird.
Right, yeah, it's bound to be a problem with the player or something.
Right. But it does have an English track, so you can at least. But I like to watch the Italian version and read the English subs.
So I was talking about that. So the Italian dub, her character, Christina Marshall's character Betty, is actually a little bit more warmer. Though in her like stuff she says and that, she kind of comes across as a lot warmer, which I've not gone back and watched it to like make a comparison. But I did get something cool with this release because I obviously got the T-shirt. I did get the bundle. I did get the glasses, but they're in the other room.
You'll put the glasses on, Darren.
Oh no!
You got to put the glasses on, man.
There's no way.
Before we get out of here.
So I've got the autograph.
Yeah.
I've not even took the glasses out the fucking. I don't even take.
Whose autograph is that?
Christina Marshall.
Right.
I don't really like collect autographs, but and depending on seeing how it goes, like I mean, if Dirk wants out at some point, you know, I might send it over to Dirk because I'm not a big kind of autograph.
Oh man, I'd love to get it, man.
Yeah. We'll have to do something. Remind me on next time I send something over.
Yeah. But let me catch the chat right quick. That's awesome though, man. Yeah, I went to go buy the autograph because I missed out on the bundle, and the fucking autograph was gone. So.
No, man, you're welcome, man, to have it. Like I say, autographs don't do a complete lot for me anyway. I'm just happy if like to put it on to someone who appreciates it.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Let's see. Ultraviolet.
Oh yeah, we got the comments as well, haven't we?
Yeah, we got quite a bit. Ultraviolet says the shots from the Ravens' point of view is genius. Yeah,
it is.
It's definitely my favorite of the whole film. Like
the whole mechanical thing they used as well, going round.
Yeah. And then like you're dealing with real fucking ravens too, like so.
Yeah.
I mean, today that shit's done with CGI bullshit.
Do you know what? Right, so on this new version, they do an interview with Stivoletti, and he was fucking pissed, man. The like none of the fucking effects he did, hardly any of them they used, and he looked fucking pissed throughout the whole interview. He wasn't happy. I'm telling you, because the other guy did a lot of the effects work as well. There was another guy, Prespino, I think his name was.
Right.
But Stivoletti, they kind of fucking ignored some of his stuff because he didn't put it in on time. And Dario said, "We're not using it if you don't put it in on time." And they did use some of the mechanicals, but not a lot.
Well, they filmed. I mean, this took 15 weeks to shoot. So
yeah, it did. Yeah.
Justin Marino says the fake death. Yeah, that's what pissed me off. It didn't piss me off he faked his death. It just pissed me off that in the story that they didn't know for fucking 2 weeks or whatever. Like, and it's a mannequin, you know?
Like, that used to piss me off when I first saw it, I suppose. But
I'm just saying, like, you would fucking know. Like, you'd know, like, in the first minute, not fucking 2 weeks later, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, look at it in the context of the film, though, yeah?
Justin Marino says the cops and medical examiner are incompetent. Yeah, exactly. Like,
I think everyone's incompetent in the film.
Let's see. Wait, hold on. Oh, in my opinion, Argento films from Four Flies on Grey Velvet to present day don't follow reality. Yeah.
None of them really. I know.
That's true.
I'm trying to think. With Deep Reds, probably does. Yeah, I know it's got the whole psychic thing, but it's kind of more realistic, I guess. But Tenebrae is shot in the future.
Yeah. Maybe Dark Glasses might be pretty close to reality. I don't know.
Yeah.
Justin Moreno says Argento isn't the greatest storyteller. He's a great visual artist, though. Yeah,
That's
I think
exactly.
that's why I like, and I know Fulci's not the greatest either, but like Fulci and Bava, I don't know.
I do like his writing with Franco Ferrini though. They started on Phenomena, and they did right up until I know we did Sleepless as well.
Yeah.
When those two got together, I kind of always find they done some good work.
Ultraviolent says the scene where Marco is killed up to the start of the ending credits gets me in my feels every time I watch the film.
It is the whole music in that scene as well. It's kind of quite emotional. Like,
And then
I love that whole Bill Wyman fucking music at the end.
and really like nobody's won, like, so you can interpret it like Betty's lost in her own fucking madness too, right?
Yeah.
Because she's just like everybody dies around her and she just don't really react,
But
like,
do you know the ending? There's a bit of Dario in the ending because
yeah.
what one of the guys say on the new release, right, was when Dario Argento was actually in Switzerland, they said there was a weird aura about him when he was around nature. Like Dario had this weird aura where
I've seen him with
he was kind of at one with animals and
I
stuff.
saw that on the behind the scenes with the Ravens.
Yeah.
Like,
apparently he had some kind of aura where he was all this kind of, outside and the
right.
wind and
Real hippie shit.
animals and shit. He kind of, it was weird. They said but
he
you
was
see it.
smoking the hashish and being one with nature.
Right. Yeah. That's Dario at the end, I think. That is actually him in her, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And like, did you ever think of it like that too? Though that's why I told you, like, Daria Nicoletti could have been Betty's mom.
Yeah.
And then Betty could be Aja.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into it too much, but I feel like this was like a payback film from Argento all the way. Like,
right. Yeah. I was going to say, we've got to fucking champion like these streams on films of Dario Argento because he's 84, man. Recently just turned 84. We're not going to have him forever. We need to appreciate that guy, honestly, while he's alive. And I know he does get a lot, but there should be more streams and more, So I'm sure we're going to do, Dirk's had his notification in, so we're going to probably do deep cuts as well, Dirk. Give me at some point. I want to cover all that.
Yeah.
All his TV work he did after this, basically.
Ultraviolent says, in my opinion, the very last scene where we hear Betty's thoughts on relationships is beautiful and empowering. She's given up on romance, but found beauty in nature and in herself.
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because obviously her love interest at the time, Marco, was killed. Yeah. There's a lot of ways you can look into that ending.
Yeah.
I kind of gives me a warm feeling. It kind of gives me an emotional feeling as well because I love the Bill Wyman music that plays out as well. And then you've got the Simonetti music after that.
Anthony says, this has been a killer discussion, fellas. You guys broke the film down very well. Man, I appreciate it, dude. I appreciate it, Anthony.
Cheers, Anthony.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I'm always worried how these are going to go, like, but people do seem to like them.
Yeah, I think it went pretty good. Aiden Vavra. Hello, everyone. What's going on?
Oh, Aiden, he's my friend on Facebook. We always talk.
Yeah.
Hot man.
Oh, yeah. You got the Gunther profile pic. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Fun Ace, he's a big fan.
Truly magnificent imagery in this film. Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it.
Yeah, Aiden was bigging us up on Facebook, actually. He was telling a few people about the stream. And
cool.
The other Kenneth as well was doing that.
Awesome. Wild Wrangler says, I don't trust ravens.
Oh, man, I hate birds anyway. Like coming flying.
I was asking Tasha the other day if we could have a raven, like as a pet, So, but
shit, man!
I think it'd be fucking killer. But let's see, Anthony's Horror More. I love the look of the Opera House. It's such a cool location to film in.
Yeah, it was shot in Parma, and it was a second choice because he wanted to get he wanted another big opera house.
Mhm.
But I think he kind of lucked out with this one. The other one they wanted was basically was open all out, like all the time year round, whereas this one would have like little breaks where they'd have 2 months or whatever, and that's why he got this one. I think it worked out well. I mean, I love the Parma setting as well.
Justin Marino says, "Yeah, that's a huge plot hole." Yeah,
It is. It is. But you've only got to look at Stendhal Syndrome and some of his other films. There's
yeah,
major plot holes in all of them.
yeah. Like it is mainly about visuals for sure. Um, Dario Argento technically made Phantom of the Opera both with this film and one from the late '90s. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely,
Yeah,
definitely. And I always said, why did he go back and do the '90s one when he perfected it with this? But weirdly enough, he went through a month or two actually thinking this film was so bad that he contemplated suicide. He was in a massive depression.
yeah,
Um, I mentioned it earlier, and then one of the critics turned around and told him how much of a masterpiece this was. And he said in the interview, all his worries kind of fucking went away, and he embraced it, and he kind of was getting into other projects after this as well. So I think it's arguably his best fucking film. I really do.
Let's see. Justin Marino says it reminds me of City of the Living Dead. How didn't they embalm Mary Woodhouse before putting her into the coffin?
Yeah, that's always a big
Yeah,
that's always a big question as well.
it's a good thing they didn't, right?
But I mean, Fulci as well.
Right.
It's kind of dreamlike, a lot of his stuff, and you just
Yeah.
can't take anything serious. De
I
Palma
feel
does
like
it.
I feel like
Brian De Palma, nothing makes sense in fucking Dress to Kill.
well,
None
yeah,
of
but
that
I
makes
feel
fucking
like
sense.
with Fulci, like with opera, it's more. I think it's more so grounded in reality than those three gates of hell, right?
Right? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I can see that. I can see that.
let's see. Let's see, where was I at? Aiden says Dario Argento being one with nature. Oh my God! I just figured out why Dracula turns into insects in Dracula 3D.
I know
Yeah,
that fucking
yeah,
praying mantis scene, man.
yeah, man.
It's well, you've got to give it like it's different. I'll give it that.
Right.
It's
Justin Moreno says, "What would you rate opera, guys?"
you know what I'm gonna say. It's like
It's
an
like a five.
11. It's
Are
an
you saying
11 out of 10 for
like a
me.
5 out of 10 there?
Yeah, maybe. No. It's an 11 out of 10. Like it's my favorite film.
I'm
I
gonna
hope
give.
I've got the passion. I hope the passion comes through the screen like the
Yeah.
people. Um
So
it's changed my
opera,
life. These films changed my life, man.
opera for me is a nine, almost 9.5. I'd say leaning 9.5 if it
But for
wasn't for
that
that
one
one
scene, yeah.
goddamn dummy scene bullshit. Like that's a dummy ass move. Like
I
for
think
real.
you might mellow out on that over time.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it might reach a 10 for you in time, I think.
Yeah.
But
I don't know,
I mean,
man.
how long have you like what's the first time you've seen opera, Dirk? How many years ago was it?
Shit.
Is it
Back in
recently or is it a long
no,
time?
no, I seen opera back in like what 2018, I believe, was the first
That's
time I
fairly
saw it.
recently. That's fairly recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might mellow out on that over time. I would suggest because I know I did.
Right. Let's see. 11 out of 10, Dirk and Darren.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely 11. Yeah.
No, Saw 2 ripped off the gun gag in this film.
Oh, okay. I've only seen Saw 2
I haven't
once.
seen Saw 2 in a long time, but
Yeah, I
I
can't
can
look.
imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dirk, get a bird that talks and says, "Kill for me." Yeah. Yeah. Kill for me. I want to see those.
The closest I've come to having a raven is a buzzing
So
guy.
this is another question I got. Okay, so the one chick we keep seeing in the flashback, right? That's running
Yeah.
from the killer. Okay,
Right. Yeah.
is that the lesbian lover of the mother?
it's ambiguous, isn't it? 'Cause,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
you
I
can
mean,
see
I'm
it
glad
like
it
that.
is, though. I'm glad it is. Because it makes the film more rewatchable. Like you got all these things that you don't know all the answers, but
yeah.
that's kind of how I took it though, because she's like looking at her, and they're like looking at each other, but it's like she's turned on by it. I don't know. It's fucking crazy.
It's definitely hinted at that
Right.
being the case. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Ultraviolet Hippie says, I give Opera a 10 out of 10. In my opinion, it's a masterpiece and one of the best horror films ever made. It's my absolute favorite film from Argento and one of my favorite films of all time.
You couldn't put that any different. Like that's exactly how I feel. Like word for word how I feel.
Hell yeah. While Wrangler says, Dirt, get a parrot. They live to be 100 years old. Yeah. Hell yeah. Dirk needs a raven that says witch. Yeah, that's what we need. We need some witch. Witch. Ultraviolet. At Aiden. I've never thought about that, and I actually watched Saw 2 this afternoon. Okay.
I'll have to go back and give that. Yeah. Definitely go back and give that a watch.
That was.
I was never big on the Saw films already, but
it's been a while. I liked the first one, and I remember like the first time I saw it was the jaw-dropping moment. You know, I appreciated that.
Yeah, but it's the one. To me, the first one is just a one-time watch.
I know, but still, it was so fucking original and effective.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think I've gone through everything that I had.
I mean, I've literally, when we do the kind of breakdown from the release.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I took notes on every single interview, so
that's fine. Yeah.
But we won't go through all them at that time. But what we'll do is we'll have a bit more, like, people stay tuned because we'll have a bit more in depth, kind of behind the scenes.
Yeah, so I'm expect a video sometime this week, probably later in the week.
Maybe. So, but you're saying you might get that set coming in this week anyway. So if you want to leave it a couple of weeks and watch that set, I'm fine with that as well.
We'll do the video breakdown on the Severin release versus the.
We could do it in 2 or 3 weeks time.
Yeah. The German release, the play on.
If anyone in the chat has got any kind of suggestions on what they want us to cover, I know we have got like Lamberto Bava planned. So I know I think it was Ultraviolet Hippie mentioned that.
Next we're doing the Eurocrypt next week.
Yeah, so that's the French films, is it?
Yeah, 3 French films. 1981 Possession, Frontiers, right?
Yeah.
And what was the third one? Do you remember?
Fascination, was it?
Fascination, 1980. Yeah, Fascination.
So there's 2 I've not seen. Wild Wrangler's saying, yeah, I mean, Possession I've always wanted to see anyway. Wild Wrangler's mentioning Stage Fright as well, Michel Suavi. Cemetery Man's another great one. I know he was the assistant director on Opera. That guy should have done more, man.
Aiden says Dario's influence on cinema is still being felt today just for Saw, Malignant, and Last Night in Soho. I would even say John Carpenter's Halloween, because there's a scene in Halloween. Is it the door? I'm trying to remember now. Like Carpenter, I think even admitted to the shit. So
Carpenter was a big fan of Suspiria as well.
Yeah.
Obviously Bob Clark's Black Christmas.
Are you fan? Aiden says, "Are you guys fans of Dario Argento's protege, Michele Soavi?" Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I love fucking Stage Fright. Cemetery Man is just going up and up, in my opinion. I was a little bit lukewarm on The Church, but I watched it again recently and kind of liked it more. I've not seen The Sect. I do own the Blu-ray, but yeah, we could do that. We could do that at some point. Do those 4 films. I would be like,
yeah, I've seen The Sect. It's okay. It's not his strongest for sure.
Didn't Dario present that as well?
Yeah,
The Sect. Yeah, yeah. And the church, I think, as well.
But yeah, man, I guess we'll get out of here. I appreciate everybody. We've had, close to 20 in here for the most part.
Oh, really? That's
yeah.
kind of,
That's cool.
blows my mind that we get anyone, really, but
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, y'all have a good week. Good rest of your night. And I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think Dead Pit's about to come on. So might want to go over there and check them out.
Definitely.
They always got something cool going on. So, but yeah, man, y'all have a good one.
Have a good one,
great
guys.
stream and film coverage. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, it means a lot, man.
Later, y'all. Y'all have a good one. Yeah, man. Let's see. I got a little something though for y'all before we get out of here.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna bust you up for good. I'm gonna take you, break you in a million pieces, and take those pieces and break them in a million more.